Well, it turns out that when you replace your GPU, your entire computer hates you and wants to burn you like a witch. And as a result, loud music. Why is that having no effect? What the fuck is that? This doesn't change anything. Oh, it changes it for me, but it doesn't change it for you. So if I mute it for myself, it's still exactly... What the fuck? Well, I'll tell you what, friends. I'm glad that I didn't do the labyrinth stream.
Flee! Flee!
Ladies and gentlemen, all genders outside, you can delve deep into your pins of popcorn and throw them at the raiders, throw them at these cheeky devils. Look at these people coming in here. I mean, really, could you even imagine who do they think they are? Good lot! Hello, Eris. How you doing, you beautiful bean? You've come in just as I am having all of the technical issues, it seems. So, yeah. You beautiful individual, thank you very much for the raid. How was your stream? What did you get up to? Tell me all about it. Tell me all the bits and pieces. We also just had a level 2 hype train. Friends, if you've got hype train emails, could you throw them out? And I'd say a massive thanks to all those people that subbed, that gifted subs, as to all those little bitties out there. We had Stevachino, Caro, Milky Paw gifting a sub to Dapper Cogsworth, you beautiful bean. Covmel, hello, you beautiful bean. Caro giving out to the community there, and that went to Covmel. Milky Pork, you beautiful bean, thank you very much for giving us up to Bearded Ladies as well. Sweet Mini, welcome here, Cheeky Devil. How was your stream, Eris? How did it go? How was it? Was it wonderful? My microwave is broken. I've got no microwave anymore, so I feel that. Leaving the tech issues, John, more tech issues. Ah, right, okay, that's cool. I have had my GPU replaced with an infinitely better GPU. It's a very good upgrade to have had. I've also got a brand new 4 terabyte hard drive, which has been absolutely amazing. But this is the first time I've tried to stream since then. And I'm not going to lie to you. There are some frustrations. There are some frustrations because I didn't realize that by changing your GPU, it would bend me over, tell me to bite the pillow because it was going in dry. But here we are. As long as you can hear me and there's a little bit of music on the background, can you hear the alerts? Everyone, can everyone hear the alerts? Are they okay? I bought a shitload of bottles of water for the Pride Parade and nobody drank any.
Filthy,
so okay.
I tell you. Filthy.
They should be, well, by the sounds of things, they are very fucking loud from what I can see here. Alerts are fine. Okay. Good volume. Okay. We will leave that where it was then. And the music can stay as it is. Interesting. But Eris, thank you so much for bringing all your beautiful people here. Friends, if you're new here, 2 things you need to know about this channel. 1, you're not allowed to apologize. Instead of saying sorry, try saying thank you. Instead of saying sorry, I'm late, say thanks for waiting. Instead of saying sorry, I'm such a burden, say thanks for being there for me. It'll make you a much more positive individual. 2, if you're under the age of 18, I have to ask you to leave. I've got to ask you to leave, for I'm a colossal filth wizard. I don't want to be corrupting the ears of the young. Not what I'm about. Not what I'm about, you cheeky little devils. And that chat's not working either. Oh, I'm having a wonderful day today. A wonderful day of all of the technical issues. This is the kind of shit. Do you know what, friends? Prior to streaming, I was never into tech. In fact, I would even go so far as to say I fucking detested it. And now I'm into streaming, and I still fucking detest it. It seems to make every single thing in the entire fucking world slightly more complicated. Needlessly complicated. You're like, I should plug you in and you should work. And you plug them in and goes, yeah, no, we're not going to work. We're going to fuck you over until you're really, really annoyed and you wonder what the fuck is going wrong. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. That's right. That's okay. Do you know what the issue was when I first started streaming? I tried to press go live and it said you can't do that until you fixed your encoders for video and recording. And I was like, okay, well that kind of makes sense because, you know, GPU, that makes sense. I will check my video and encoding shenanigans in order to make sure that it's all fine and dandy. So I did that. I went on to the little settings and was like, okay, I've got my little settings. All is good in the proverbial hood. And then it was like, no, it's still not working. It's still not working. You're not allowing it to work. It's none of the things that should be working are working. Why the fuck is it not working?
Little stalker.
Thank you so much for the follow, you beautiful bean. And the answer to why it wasn't working was because I had it on the advanced settings, and I just needed to click a little tick box that said show simplified version. So I clicked that cheeky little tick box, and even though none of the settings actually changed, all of the settings stayed exactly the same as I had them in the advanced settings and on the simplified version of it. Just viewing it in the simplified version made it go, yeah, that's okay now. We thought it was a bit too complex for you, Val. We wanted you on like the basic level, all right? The simple level. Don't you be getting ahead of yourself, even though you understand it all, okay? Even though you understand it all, don't get ahead of yourself, okay? Yeah? God damn it. Anyway, friends, hello, you beautiful individuals. Welcome on in. Let me scroll up a wee bit so I can actually... the highest I can get there is the Cult of Ptolemy. Well, welcome on in, you beautiful beings. Let me also welcome in all the new people that we had here. We had... brand new people. Sappho of Leaves. Lesvos. Hello, you beautiful individual. Now you want popcorn? I know, it's the worst, isn't it? It's the worst. All that popcorn cascading everywhere. Covmel, welcome on. Thank you very much for coming out. Lurk and saying hi. I'm new, found you on Facebook, and one of your videos said that you had a Twitch, so now I'm following. I very much appreciate that. Lady Donegan, welcome on in. How you doing as well? I saw another couple down the bottom here. Lady Ziandra, hello, you glorious individual. Didn't know you had Twitch, following you for years on Facebook. Hello, how you doing? Welcome on in, welcome on in. And welcome all of you beautiful beings. I will come and say hello to all of you momentarily, but I'm just going to do all of the subscriptions because I want to try and vaguely stay ahead of whatever the fuck is going on. Whatever the fuck is going on. But friends, I shall now inscribe those names upon the mirror vein. Why is that on there? Get rid of the popcorn. We're good. Where's my little goldie pen? There it is. There it is. First of all, Stefancino coming in with a Prime. Thank you very much for choosing to use your Prime here. You could use it anywhere and you choose to use it here. That's very, very kind of you. And then we had Caro, you beautiful bean, subscribed for 3 months at tier 2, which means I need the other pen, the tier 2 black ink. Making sure I spell it correctly. Perfect, Caro. Milky Pot giving us up to Dapper Cogsworth there. It's very kind of you. Thank you very much for that. Ooh. And then, what have we got going on here? Oh my god, Caro subscribing for tier 2 for 3 months in advance. Oh good lord. Oh, good lord. I was so confused for a second there. I was like, but what? What? But you're actually subscribed for tier 2 for... That takes us 2 steps closer to the 70-30 split for the next 3 months. Good lord, Caro. That's so kind of you. Thank you so much. Sweet Mini Wolf, did I give you your cheeky kiss? My brain's a bit melty today, friends. My brain's a bit melty.
Partying face.
All of the partying face. All of the partying face. Milky Pot gifted us up to Bearded Ladies because today's intro song was Ode to the Bearded Ladies by The Beards. And then, oh my lordy, where were we? And then Zemka coming in for 6 months. Good lord, you cheeky little devil. Thank you so much. I want to inscribe your name upon the mirror vein as well. All of those names have been described on the Mirror Vein. By having their names on the Mirror Vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat, not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devils. And of course, you get access to all the sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you'll roll over every morning, look in the mirror, and go, God, do I look rough? We go, damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, harra, sexy. Oh, yes, meow. You know? You know? Okay. Welcome on in, friends. How you doing? How's it going, Alexandra Griffin? Giles, how you doing, you beautiful bean? Yeah, the tech issues have melted my little brain. Actually, to be fair, I'm a little bit melted. I'm a little bit of brain melted, friends. We'll get into it. I was away. I obviously streamed the Labyrinth stream last week, and then I was meant to do Pride on Saturday, which I did, which was great. They're just cleaning each other. Calm yourself. They're just cleaning each other. And you should know that your mirror looks like a poker chip when it's partly sitting on the couch behind you. It does kind of, yeah, it does look like a giant poker chip. I can take that. I can take that for sure. What was I saying? Yeah, so I had like Pride on Saturday, which was great and wonderful, but it was a long day in order to get everything ready because we take down like a little cart with us with music and shit like that. And then Saturday we were meant to be doing, no, that was Saturday. And Sunday we were meant to be doing the Labyrinth stream. And I ended up having to bail on that one because I was just so out of it. I was so out of it. And I'm kind of glad that I did now because otherwise we would have had all these technical issues while I was also trying to run a roleplay game for chat. It would have been quite terrible. It does mean that I am now going to have to put everything else I have planned aside in order to make sure that I have got everything sorted for this stream now, which means that's scrapped a lot of this week's plans of things outside of stream, but yeah, it's fine. I will sort it. Not sure if you got your smooch. All right, no worries. Come here, sweet mini wolf. Take your cheeky kiss, you cheeky little devil, you. As I said, my brain is very melty. Not to mention the fact that I've also got, you know, tech issues and stuff like that, which always makes the brain melty. Always makes it a little bit melty, you know. Phonomos, excuse me. How you doing, Milky Pocky, beautiful bean, Kara, you cheeky devil, Zooty Booey, welcome on in. People that are lurking, thank you very much for choosing to lurk and using your channel points to lurk, allowing Twitch to know that you are actually here as a human being. Scar, welcome on in. Dapper Cogs with you, beautiful bean. Elephant Opera coming in with the Prime for the 7 months, you cheeky little devil. Thank you very much for that, you wonderful bean. That is awfully kind of you. I shall now inscribe your name upon the Mirror Vein. You may notice that I'm low energy today, and you're just going to have to deal with that. You're just going to have to deal with that. That's all right.
Panda to my ego. Panda to it. Panda to it.
Tea made with Vienna water.
Tea made with Vienna water? Vienna water? How is that different? I'm confused. Explain yourself. Explain yourself. What? Is that like filtered water or is that like sparkling water? Is that like a sparkling water? Is that what it is? Oh, goddamn. I have inscribed those names upon the Mirror Vein. By having your name upon the Mirror Vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not about Snapchat, of course, you get access to all the sexy early months, but the most important thing is you'll roll over every morning, look in the mirror and go, God, do I look rough? Where are you? There you are. God, do I look rough? And God damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, harra, sexy. Oh, yes, meow, you know? You know, you cheeky devil. It's really being a Monday, I see. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a choice. Choices have been made by technology today, and it is causing me a mischief, to say the least. How you doing, Loki the Khajiit as well? Scar, welcome on in. Salty Sea King, hello, you beautiful bean. Let's have a quick scroll down a wee bit, trying to say hi to people. Adventurous Sky, welcome on in. How you doing? Helena the Unicorn, hello, you beautiful bean. Did you have a good day today? Today has been a difficult one. I'll get into it in a minute, Helena, if that's all right. Let me catch up with chat a wee bit first, and then I'll get into it and I'll explain the roller coaster that has been the past few days. Because some of you might not be aware of certain things that have happened in the world that are have put a lot of interesting perspective on some things. Do you know what I mean? Alison, hello, you beautiful individual. How's it going? Who we got with the streaks there as well? We have Salty Seeking with the 35 streams in a row streak. Loki with the Kishi with 15. You two running around all naked-fied. What have I told you? All right, what have I told you? You get sunburn. All right, I got a sunburnt scalp from when I was out on Saturday for Pride. Got a real big old red scalp. But you know, you choose to run around all naked-fied. Make sure you're wearing factor 50, won't you? Factor 50. Mendiza, how you doing, you beautiful being? Thank you for the birthday wishes. When was it your birthday? You're gonna have to remind me. As I said, my brain is goo. My brain is goo. It is jam leaking out of my ears. Raven Moon, welcome on in. How you doing? How's it going? Mini Wolf as well, you beautiful being. Wheezy Gal, hello, you cheeky devil. Yeah, my audio was completely fucked. Just got to PT. Well, I hope it goes very, very well. Mira J, you beautiful being. Loud music, how's it going, Rach? How you doing? If there are any other issues, I would very much like to know about it, because from what I'm seeing on my bitrate's all over the fucking place. So I don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going on. But keep me posted about it, friends. All clear at the moment? Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Zemka, welcome on in. How you doing? Evie Contula, excuse me. Hello, you beautiful being. Hestia, hello, you cheeky devil. Why? I will say, I don't know why the video coding had an effect on the audio. That makes no sense to me, but sure. That was, I had to reroute everything via my stream. It's been a day. It's been a day of tech shit. And I was not quite ready for it. Because as many of you may well be aware, I am not the most technical-minded individual in the world. Dahlia, how you doing, you beautiful being? Fuyuto, excuse me. Hello, you beautiful being. Welcome on in. Hey, Zana, how you doing? Eris Ptolemy, of course. Little Kitty, hello, you beautiful being. Giving tech issues to join more tech issues. Yes, exactly that. Exactly that. That's how it feels entirely today, to be honest with you. Aside from my internet making me do a stream almost impossible, feels like stream was good. I'm glad that you had a good stream, Eris, at least. Even if it was like thrown all over the show. I haven't dropped any frames yet.
Pander to my ego. Pander to it. Pander to it.
Historical fact. Today in 1837 the U.S. Mint opens in the town Charlotte in North Carolina.
Oh, that is an interesting fact. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for those 100 little panderings about it. I appreciate you. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you're doing well. I was liking where the first bit was going, then dry. I know, Sappho. But that's what technology is like with me, all right? It's a cruel, cruel mistress. Louder than normal is still good. That's okay. Still perfect for me. Good. Good evening. How you doing?
Pander to my ego. Pander to it. Pander to it.
Historical fact. Today in 1844 the U.S. Mint is destroyed by fire in the town Charlotte in North Carolina.
How well? There we go. Lots more things. We had this in 1837 and then 1844. We are coming forward in time. For sure. Terry MB, welcome on in. How you doing as well? You got a migraine, so you won't be typing much. Entirely fair. You lurk away in the background, you beautiful being. If you're not feeling up for chatting, not an issue at all. Every single time you change something, you can always count on everything breaking. Hey, Lizana, the problem was that I spent some time going through and trying to make sure that everything worked. And it seems that all the issues that I have found happened when I pressed go live, and it went no, and I went, what do you mean no? And he went, nah, we're not going to tell you what the problem is. We're just going to tell you can't go live. And I'm like, but I was due to be live 3 minutes ago. And I was on time as a rarity. Why am I not live? What's that all about? Nah, I'm not going to tell you. Gonna have to work it out. This is not the time to give me puzzles, technology. This is not the time to give me puzzles. I got beautiful people to entertain. God damn it. There's also, I will say, like, normally I'm a very, very patient person. I'm quite a quite a relaxed, patient individual in the vast majority of my life. There's certain things that immediately spark me. And one of those things is technology not working the way it should be working when it's worked that way every time before. When you're like, I have changed nothing. I have gone through, I've done my due diligences. I have checked all the bits and pieces. I've checked the to make sure that it should work. I've integrated, or I've checked my findings against various different forums to make sure that people are smarter than me have said that it's all fine and dandy. Everything should work perfectly fine. You try and get it to work and it's like, no, you're not having that. That's not something you're allowed to do. And I was like, what do you mean? So it's been a day. It's been a day. You detected it. Get out, Milky Box. Get out. Get out. Every single time you train something, I always count on everything breaking. Yeah, it seems that way. Why my GPU has anything to do with my audio system, I've got no fucking idea, but I have had to change every single audio pathway on my entire computer. The fact that now I've changed every audio pathway, I have then routed it through OBS, which is my streaming system, so that it should all be fine and dandy. And yet, for some reason, I've got like a mixer here with sliders. And the way that it used to be was when I pushed the slider up, it would get louder for you. And when I pulled the slider down, it would get quieter for you. And that was all fine and dandy. That all worked perfectly. The audio system has nothing to do with the GPU. Not a single thing to do with the GPU. And yet, change the GPU. By the way, we're changing fucking everything.
Hand it to it. Hand it to it.
Oh, you
A
fucking
riddle.
bastard.
I speak in silence. I fail without a clue. I ruin your stream. Then blame nothing but you. What am I?
Technology. Bloody technology. All of the technology. Oh. Anyway. How's it going, Jam Jam Brain? How you doing, you beautiful being? Sakura Snowlight, hello, you beautiful individual. You might not have remembered me, Sakura Snowlight. You will have to give me a little bit more context if you would, because I am terrible with names. Pretty good with faces, but I am terrible with names. So you might need to give me a little bit more context, you beautiful being. I know a fair few Sakuras. A pot of double D, hello, you beautiful being. It's like a giant production that you didn't want. Exactly that. Same. They started streaming recently, and everyone like yourself makes it look so easy and smooth. Nope, not one true. So many things to learn. I will say, Fauna, the reason why I made until today, made it look easy, was because I had been doing it with pretty much exactly the same setup for years. So nothing was changing. So when you change something, it's like, by the way, we're gonna fuck shit up. And I'm like, why? Why do you have to be like this, technology? What did I do to you? What did I do to hurt you, technology?
Hand it to my ego. Hand it to it. Hand it to it.
Modern technology has never matched the simplicity and grace of the traditional pen. In fact, you could say that there is still no equal.
Oh, you upset me. You upset me in my little soul. If I could stream via pen and paper, that would be amazing. If I could do a live stream via pen and paper, that would be great. That would be great. Also, thank you very much, 100 little panderings. I appreciate that. That would be great. That would be glorious. I'd be on board that, you know? Your inclusive reminder for those who wear binders has put you on the top of my stream list. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Sappho. I appreciate that. We try and do our best. We try and do our best because I am very consciously aware of the fact that I am a cisgender white man and therefore was born into this world with all of the privilege that could be that could exist. Do you know what I mean? I was born with all the privilege that could exist. So I do my best to try and be aware, but sometimes I get it wrong, and I try and pay attention when I do get it wrong so that I can correct myself and be better in the future, you know? And tech means you get to interact with us a lot, so it's overall positive. Yeah. It would just be nice if it worked better. You know, Shade? Just be nice if it works better. or did what it was told. You know? Is that mirror behind you looks at me like a giant poker chip? It kind of does look like a giant poker chip, for sure. For sure. How's it going, Jam Jab Ryan? How you doing? Hestia, you beautiful being. Of course, Night Dragon. Hella, you beautiful being. Long time no see, Night Dragon. I hope you're keeping well. Hope you're keeping well. Do you ever go on holidays? What do you mean by holiday? How does one holiday? Hestia? What do you mean by holiday? My son the other day said, what happened when you put the game in and just played it? And I was like, kid, you listened to me much, too much. You weren't even born those days. Exactly, little kid. Remember those days when you used to pull the cartridge out and blow it to get all the dust off the prongs? Yeah. So you dare insult tech? You need a little bit of knowledge. We're working with it for some time and everything will make sense, promise. For you, oh, that's not true. I've been doing this nearly 8 years. Nearly 8 years. I've done a cosmic fuck ton of research. I have learned so much about technology. And even then, even after all of that research, even after literally living this for week after week after week, for 8 years, things still don't do what they're told. So, that's not true. Didn't know you twitched. I've been following for years on Facebook. Ah, well, here we are. Here we are. This is the only... I was looking at one stage about multi-streaming to different platforms, but it's so much work. It's so much extra work to try and incorporate all the different streams together when I can just do it here and make it a lot easier for myself. Do you know what I mean? Tech want you to play with its boxes, and so you bratted you until I did. That's the worst thing, is the fact that, like, literally it was just like I was in the advanced options so that I could see all of the different encoders, and then when I click the little tick box that says show simple view, I click the tick box, it goes to the simple view, and then it goes, everything's fine now. And I go through and I'm like, everything's exactly the same. Why is that? What why?
Yeah, you subscribed.
Why is this the way it is? God damn it. Gosh darn it. Prags, you beautiful being, thank you very much for coming in with the Prime for the 52 months. Good lord. Good lord. So many months. So many bloody months. I shall now inscribe your name upon the mirror of vein, you beautiful being. Is that right? Yeah. Get the numbers right. 83. By having your name upon the mirror vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not about my Snapchat, you cheeky devil. And of course, you get access to all the sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you go roll over every morning, look in the mirror, and go, God, do I look rough? But God damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy. Oh, yes, meow. You know? Yeah, now, you cheeky devil. Let me try and scroll down a wee bit faster so I can catch up. Sounds like me spending 2 days cussing all the cuss words when I was building my rig almost 3 years ago. Yep, sounds about right. Sounds right. Installing it was fine. Getting it in there was fine. Putting it actually in the thing, bits and pieces, doing all the bits and pieces with Sembar. Everything was okay and great, and doing all the bits and pieces. And then there was a bit of teething issue in installing all the right drivers and stuff, but we got it all sorted in like a relatively, it was like 2-3 hours maybe, and it was fine. And now I thought everything was fine. I went through everything and everything should have been fine. I changed a whole load. I spent an entire day sorting tech stuff out to make sure it was all okay. And then it was like, no. Now you want to go live, you can't do that. So I think for the next week, I'm going to be doing the same thing. You know what I mean? If it helps ring a bell, I am snowy. I'm afraid it does not help ring a bell at all. Sakura Snowlight, you're going to have to give me a bit more context than that. Unfortunately, one of the major downsides to seeing and meeting so many people in so many different contexts is the fact that I am terrible with names. I remember faces, I sometimes remember contexts, but there's a lot that goes on in my life. My brain just can't keep up. You know what I mean? How you doing, Monster Crubble? You lurk away, you beautiful individual. Hope I didn't say hello, usual work, like, not a problem. Thank you so much for being here, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Right, I'm 20 minutes behind in chat. I'm going to try and whip down as quickly as possible, okay? You sub 2, Fornamos? It hasn't shown up in my list, Fornamos, you beautiful bean. I don't doubt the fact that you have subscribed. I can see the subscription badge next to your name. But it's not showing up in my list. I don't know whether it's because it hasn't triggered the alert yet, or if you've like upgraded or something like that and it hasn't come to the end of the cycle or what have you. I'm not entirely sure, but it's not showing up in my list just yet. As soon as that alert pops off, you know I'll put your name on the mirror vein. You know it. You're all over it like a bad rash. Right, I'm gonna whip down a wee bit. Knitting Wolf, welcome on in. How you doing? How's it going? About tickles the brain to learn and solve problems. I need a better brain power. I love puzzles. I absolutely bloody love puzzles. I'm a big fan of puzzles. Like, puzzle games are very much my forte. Love puzzles when I'm not trying to do a million other things. When I'm not trying to get onto stream and say hello to everybody, you know, catch up with stuff, you know. Love the stunning background. My wet dream of a studio. Oh, ladies, Leandra, thank you very much. I decorate like Prince Fuck the Moulin Rouge, and it makes me very happy in my little soul, I have to say. Kim DW, welcome on in. Of course, Razotta, hello, you beautiful bean. Raven Moon, excuse me. Loving these streams. I'm glad to hear it. I love these streams. We're doing extra streams again this week, by the way, friends. This week I've got Thursday. Oh, let me double check that. This week I've got Thursday off. Yes, so this week we're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as usual. I've got Thursday off, and then Friday the 31st, 7 p.m. BST, I will be doing the Call of Cthulhu audiobook stream, which was what we arranged ages ago, where I'm going to be reading the book of Call of Cthulhu in a good old audiobook scenario, so you can all settle in and get cozy. And then we're doing an extra stream on the 1st of January. No, 1st of fucking January. 1st of August, where we're going to be doing the episode of the Labyrinth roleplay scenario. We're going to do that because I was meant to do it last Sunday or yesterday even, and I never got around to doing it because I was too fucking busy. Well, actually, I was just very tired. And I was like, if I keep pushing the way I'm pushing, I'm going to burn out. And then I won't be any good to anybody. So I'm going to be smart and practice what I preach and take chat's advice and actually take some time for myself. You know? Who runs the stream? The mod team. Monty, Troll, Gremlin, The Face in the Mirror, Mr. Valen Vane, Technology. How dare you? How dare you? I am the only runner of this stream. Gosh darn it. How dare you? Reb Gresh, welcome on in. How you doing? How's it going? I'm waiting to take my whole life, and if a certain problem doesn't respond to the top 3 solutions, attends this. It just got interesting. Picture the intro scene of CSI Miami, which is absolutely amazing. For Yuto, excuse me. If that's your job and that is your passion and you absolutely love it, love that for you. Genuinely do. When you are in a rush because you're trying to stream, you're trying to get on, and everything looks like it should be perfectly fine, and you don't have the fucking time to investigate it. You don't have the time to go, right, okay, let's get CSI technology. Let's go. I'm like, okay, everything can die in a metaphorical sense. I'm going to set my house on fire and then live as a hermit because fuck technology. And at that point, it just suddenly becomes so easy, you know. Tigger Fellini, how you doing, you evil bean? Whipping down a wee bit. Excessive idling, how you doing? I no longer see a points purchase available for service questions or other types of questions I don't remember. Yes, they are not available currently. Excessive idling, I turned them off for the roleplay stream that we were doing because it was going to make my life far more complicated, and I haven't yet turned it on because my brain is like mush. Do you have a specific question you want to ask me? Is that what it is?
Most kind.
Druid as a median, you beautiful bean.
Woohoo. Lucky 13. Also just got home from Valhalla Viking Festival.
Ooh.
Was fracking epic.
I can imagine it
My
was.
friends and I were garbed up most of the time, and my asterisk magical horseless chariot asterisk, Luxie wheelchair, did me bloody proud. Light skin tone sign of the horns, smiling face with horns. Light skin tone sign of the horns. Will likely be a zombie woman zombie for the next 2 weeks, but it's worth it.
Sounds
Smiling
absolutely.
face with open mouth and smiling eyes.
Absolutely sounds worth it. Sounds bloody amazing, Druid Esimidian. Thank you very much for sharing that. I appreciate it. 13 whole months. I have now inscribed your name on the mirror vein. By having your name on the mirror vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat, not a bum Snapchat. Of course, you get access to all the sexy early emotes and a discount on the merch store. I keep forgetting about that one. You also get a discount on the merch store. But the most important thing is you'll roll over every morning, look in the mirror and go, God, do I look rough? But God damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, harra, sexy. Oh, yes, meow. And thank you very much for being a paid subscriber. Take us that one step closer to the 70-30 split now. You delightfully generous people have made everything far more smooth for me in regards to stepping towards the 70-30 split, and I'm very, very grateful for it. I think we're about halfway through towards the 70-30 split now, so thank you so much. Are you an esoteric? Cheers from the Reykjavik in Iceland. In esoteric in the regards that when I drop trousers, the tentacles come out in a Cthulhu nightmare, slightly erotic wet dream. Is that what you're referring to, Brian? Because if that's the question, yes, I am. 100% yes. How was your rest day yesterday? Tiring. I did rest. I got a little bit of work done. But now my brain's just goo. That's kind of the way it was yesterday. Like yesterday, I spent the time like organizing everything that needs to happen in the Labyrinth next episode of the Labyrinth, which is going to be excellent. So that's all set and sorted and ready to go. And then I was like literally getting everything sorted. And do you know what? Okay. Okay. It was hard. We're going to talk about it. I'm not going to keep postponing because it's difficult enough in and of itself. But the weekend was a difficult weekend. 99% amazing. 99% amazing. But difficult in regards of like, we did the stream on the Thursday night for Labyrinth, which was amazing, but it did mean that everything that I had planned to do on Thursday had to go out the window, because originally I thought that the game was like a choose your own adventure, and it wasn't. It was a roleplay game, so I had to sit down and basically become a GM for a bit, where I'd sat there and made a story and worked out how I could integrate the roleplay game into a way that I could use it with chat. And I only had so many hours to do that, so all of the things I had planned on Thursday had to be scrapped or pushed to Friday. Friday was when I got the new GPU and hard drive installed, which was absolutely amazing. But again, and a massive thank you to Sembar Flay for helping me with that. But again, that took time that I didn't have. So I got those installed. Then I had to spend even more time fucking about with technology that shouldn't be this fucking complicated, but it always is. And then I had to basically deal with that, then go straight on to sorting out my stuff for Pride, which was getting stuff out of the attic, getting my outfit sorted, running up a playlist, because of course we always take music, because every single time we've been there when we haven't taken our own music, it's been fucking silent where we are, and I hate that. So we take like a cart, we take like a little trolley thing with music, and I always decorate the trolley and make it look real pretty and stuff. So it was like prepping the cart, prepping the playlist, making sure I've got all of the technology or the physical cables and shit ready for all of the speaker systems and what have you, because it all lives at my house, so I'm the only one who can do it, you know. then realizing that the MP3 player, this MP3 player that we used for the past few years, had a battery in it, and the battery had leaked through the entire MP3 player. So I then needed to order an MP3 player, express delivery to my house. Then went through the playlist that we had from last year and realized that half of the artists that we had on the playlist are either they weren't a very good fit for marching to, or they were problematic as fuck, so I had to get rid of them, or they included members that were problematic as fuck, so I had to get rid of them, which meant that I went from a list of 50 songs down to a list of 8 songs, and then I had to then fill in all of the gaps, which meant that I had to go through a shitload of stuff. It's just, there was a lot that went on there. I think I finished at about 1 a.m. on Saturday morning, got to bed. Oh, at the same time, Chunk had friends round for a fire and a drink and what have you. So I was trying to be social with them at the same time doing all of this stuff. Got to bed, woke up a few hours later, had to get up so that I could get showered, shaved, made up, get the all of the cart packed down, put in the car, ready to unpack it and then take it over, because where we parked the car is at the end of the parade. So then we had to walk the 40 minutes to the beginning of the parade to then set it all up and get it ready to go, march the parade, do the rest of Pride, finished the whole of Pride, go home, grab some food, go straight back out again, because I went to a Swamplesque, which was a Shrek parody burlesque show, which was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was all right. It was okay. But by the time I got home, I was so fucking tired.
Panda to it!
Do you let Simba out of the attic for tech support, or do they have to shout instructions from the stair?
They have to shout instructions from the stair. And they're not allowed out. What do you take me for? The moment I let them out of the attic, this is the moment they try and escape, Razala. All right? You know? Debuff Girl, how you doing? How's it going? Welcome on in. How you doing? From Italy, welcome on in. How you doing? I'm just going through the roller coaster of my weekend. And do you know what? It was amazing. Like, once we got to Pride and once we'd like done the Pride parade and stuff, and I could just stop and just look around and just see the thousands of people that were there just fucking living life to the best of their ability, you know, expressing themselves in whatever way they could and being out and proud and able to love who they want to love and not feel ashamed walking down the street, being themselves or holding hands with their partners. And it was just fucking beautiful. It really, really was. And then I got back off Pride and, like I said, grabbed some food. And by that point, I was really, really sleepy. And then we went out to Swamplesque. And Swamplesque, like I said, it was a lot of fun. After I went to Swamplesque, I then went to another bar because it turns out a couple of friends of mine were playing in a band in that bar, and I hadn't seen them in like fucking hell 8 years. So I was like, well, I'm gonna swing by and say hi at the very, very least. And then I got home, pretty much fell asleep fucking instantly. And then woke up to some really upsetting news about the stuff that happened in Berlin, which I don't know whether any of you know about that. So I am going to catch up with chat and then we're going to talk about it, because I struggle with it on multiple accounts. Just learned about it this morning. Yeah, it was pretty fucked. Are you ready for Sesh next Saturday as well? I will not be going to Humber Street Sesh. I will not be going to Humber Street Sesh. Good lord no, Home Tech. Good fucking lord no. I got too much shit to do. In fact, next Saturday I will be here streaming is what I'll be doing. I will be here streaming. I have done too much this year. I need to not for a while, you know. My friends in Berlin, and it's a lot. Yeah, so have I. I've got friends in Berlin as well. So for people that are not aware, Saturday was not only my hometown Pride, but it was also Berlin Pride. And there was I am begrudged to use the word terrorist, but there was a bigoted attack on the Berlin Pride celebrations, where, from what I have read, do you know what? I need to do my little serious topic thing, just so that people are aware of it. From what I have read, an individual, a man, drove a van through the crowds of Berlin, injuring injuring a lot of people, and at least one person has been killed, excuse me. The individual then left the van after, I'm not sure whether he stopped it themselves or they ran out of petrol or they crashed into something, I'm not sure. But then they had an altercation with police where the perpetrator pulled out a knife, and as I understand it, police shot them dead there and then. Yeah, it was. In fact, you know what? Let me find out the exact number. Let's get the correct information so we're giving. 29 injured in the Berlin Pride vehicle ramming attack, and one person died, and the suspect was shot and killed by police. The suspect was known to the police and was known to have religious extremist ideals, is the way I'm going to describe it. And I'm being very careful about how I describe that, because I've read a couple of articles now about it. And unfortunately, you can't trust any news outlet anymore. You can't trust any news outlet anymore. Every single one of them seems to have their own agenda. It's the first time I'd come across... it's the first time that I'd come across the term Islamist syndrome. And I use the air quotations very deliberately. And it fucks me off. It makes me so angry that that's even a fucking phrase. Because it's a term that is currently used by the media to talk about extremist religious views, like zealots, you know? But it makes it sound like a mental health condition. As if Islam as a religion is a mental health condition. And I can tell you right fucking now that if any religion is a mental health condition, then all of the religions are mental health conditions, because every single religion that exists in the entire fucking world has their own extremists. They all have their own extremists. They all have their own zealots. They all have their own terrorists. Every single fucking one of them. The difference is that when it's a Christian terrorist, they don't call it a terrorist. They call them a unstable mass shooter or something like that. But I get ahead of myself. So it really fucks me off, because the only label, in my personal opinion, that should be applied to any of this is homophobic. How's it going, Litzen? Welcome on in. How you doing? Yeah, the only label that should be applied here is homophobic. This individual, this man, attacked the Pride Parade out of homophobia. What the source of that homophobia was doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter whether it's religion or cultural upbringing or fear or hatred. It doesn't fucking matter. What matters is it was homophobia. And anything outside of that is pushing an agenda. Exactly. So tired of media treating Islam that way. We have the same thing in France. It makes me so angry. Yeah, it's the same thing across the Western world. It's the same thing across the Western world, Hannah, because it's so much easier to get people to hate. And if people have someone to blame other than themselves, then it just makes their entire lives easier, you know? It's disgusting behavior. We should be... Pride is about inclusion. Pride is about acceptance and love and inclusion, and it is fucking awful. And I'm finding it very hard personally to get my head around it, because at the time where I was having such a wonderful experience in the whole Pride, where I was looking around and just seeing so much love, so much acceptance, so much welcoming behavior, like people just being themselves and being allowed to be themselves and being like just so full of acceptance, not only for each other, but acceptance for themselves, acceptance for the fact that it's like they've grown up in a homophobic world, in a world that is systemically heteronormative, and they have had to fight every step of the way, and here they don't. Pride is the one place that they don't have to fight. They can just be themselves and be accepted for being themselves, and it's fucking beautiful to see. And at exactly the same time that I was there seeing all of that and reveling all of that and being part of that, people not even 3 hours away from me, like by flight, were suffering this attack for exactly the same thing, for exactly the same love, for exactly the same acceptance, for exactly the same welcoming and inclusive behavior. They were being attacked. And yeah, that gets to me. That gets to me. Yeah. You know, it put a lot of things into perspective for me, and it was a stark and brutal reminder that Pride is not only a celebration, it is a protest. It is a protest against bigoted, homophobic mindsets. It is a protest against a system that treats the queer community as lesser than, you know? So there's good and bad in all religions. Completely agree. Anyone who thinks that their God wants them to go out and hurt people needs to take a good look at themselves. The thing is, Wild Honey, if you actually look... Oh, fucking hell. Okay, I'm going to say it, that I'm going to be careful about making sure that we don't spiral the conversation too much. But if you look at religious extremism generally, as like a generic sort of socio-psychological perspective, the way that they do it is they start by getting people to talk about other human beings as if they're not human beings. You saw it happen in America in the run-up to Trump being in charge, where he was referring to immigrants as rats and vermin. With the moment that human beings stop thinking about other human beings as human is when they suddenly become capable of things that are inhuman, you know? The fact that they can't stand us because we simply exist in happiness is such a sad thing. Yeah, but but I completely agree with what you're saying. But I also understand it because society, especially at the moment, Western society especially, is all about fear-mongering. It's all about hating the other. You want to belong. You feel like you can't belong because the world is on fucking fire at the moment. Every single thing around you is crashing and burning, and there's shitloads in your life that is making you miserable that you can't fucking control. Instead of taking it on board yourself, it's easier to blame somebody else. Well, don't worry. All of the media is there in order to point the finger at people you can blame so that you don't have to blame yourself and you don't have to feel bad about the fact that your life is shit. Othering, exactly. Exactly. A lot of them themselves are not happy. Exactly. Stefficino, 100%. That's exactly what it is. They are not happy about their lives. They are also not willing to accept the fact that some of that, not all of it, but some of that is to do with themselves and the way that they treat themselves and the way that they present themselves and the way they approach the world. So they will find somebody else to blame. They will find a way to hate. And that hate will manifest itself through this othering, like you say, you know? I think some of the homophobic, racist, etc. people deep down know that love and acceptance is the way their ignorant way, being scared of everything that is different is wrong, but they can't challenge that because that would have to sit down and seriously consider their life choices. They need to use a brain to use brain making algae. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Fioto, I will one day get your name right. Fioto, so the way it was described to me was, imagine that if you've got a Jenga tower where you've got like 3 bricks and then 3 bricks, 3 bricks, 3 bricks, 3 bricks, etc. And every single time that you learn something in your life, you have 1 more brick. I've learned something in my life, 1 more brick. I've learned something in my life, 1 more brick. And you just build your tower 3 bricks at a time. Now, if you learned something last week and you realize that that's not true, it's easy because you just take the brick out of the top and put it on the top. Put the new brick on the top so that it's you've relearned something. You've taken a bit of your knowledge out, you've relearned it, put it on the top, which is fine if it's at the top because it doesn't shake the tower. But if you've learned something from a very young age, like homosexuality is wrong, then you are going to be taking something from the bottom of your tower and it's going to shake the entire tower because you are removing one of the founding bricks of your understanding of the world. Once you've removed it and put it on top of the tower, you're fine. But you've got to remove it. And that's why people get so aggressive and so defensive, because they don't want to remove the bottom bricks of their tower, you know? And that's not just for homophobia, that's for fucking everything. But yeah, I think it's a good analogy, you know? Yeah, I know. Let me scroll up a wee bit. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that. Let's pop back over here. Pop back over here because I did want to talk about the stuff that happened in Berlin, because it brings it very, very close to home. Nothing to do with religion, just the hatred. The hatred and the fact that people can just live their lives in hatred, where we are all trying to live our lives in love and acceptance. They are actively choosing to live their lives in hatred, and that's hard. Not only for me to understand, but yeah, like I said, it just highlights the fact that we are still in a day and age where pride is keenly necessary because of people like that, to help young people understand so they don't grow up to be people like that, you know? The fact that he was known to the police is the most frustrating thing. Yes, but you need to understand that it is never as simple as that. Every system of government has their due process of how to investigate things and what have you. You cannot arrest somebody for a crime they have not committed. You know? And unless you've got evidence that they are going to commit it, you can't arrest them on suspicion of committing said crime. And this is it's a problem because it means that people aren't, you know, like incidents like that are happening, but it's also the best situation because it means that people aren't getting arrested falsely. Do you know what I mean? There was a large period of time for a good 100 years, certainly in this country, where people were being arrested because the police didn't like them. Can't be thought police, exactly. The whole like ACAB movement, which stands for all cops are bastards, is because of the day and age when the police force was effectively a glorified gang. There was a documentary I watched a couple of years ago about something that happened in India where Indian police officers were killing people and then just being like, yeah, well, they were gang members, and there was no evidence to prove that they were. There was no evidence to prove they were. And this is the thing, is like, you, unless there is sufficient evidence, like him being known to the police just means that he's done enough to be suspicious. It doesn't mean that there was any evidence. It doesn't mean there was any planning. It doesn't mean there was any there definitely wasn't enough for them to get a warrant to arrest him prior to this situation, which is heartbreaking, genuinely fucking heartbreaking, because there's always going to be that question. I'm sure that there will be lots of those police officers that were investigating him as a person just sat there thinking to themselves, could I have done any better? Sat in a German police station with his file on their desk going, what the fuck did I miss? Is there anything I could have done that would have prevented this situation? The guilt that some of those police officers, some of them will be able to rationalize it out in their head, I'm sure they will, but some of those police officers will just feel fucking guilty. You know? And that's also heartbreaking, you know? But yeah, so for all those people that weren't aware of the situation that happened in Berlin, I'm gutted if you weren't ready to hear that information, but I think it's important that we talk about it, if that makes sense. It's important that we discuss these things. Thank you for being the bearer of bad news. I'm glad I could be, no matter how heartbreaking it is, you know. How's it going, Duchess Devona? How you doing? You know. Steph Gibson, how you doing? How's it going? There should be much better protection, though. It's been happening for years. Maniacs driving their vehicles into markets, demonstrations, crowd of people. That did cross my mind, Steph. Absolutely. That did cross my mind in regards to the protections. I know that for the Pride Parade that we had, everywhere there was a possibility of vehicles coming anywhere near the parade itself. The place was locked off with like concrete bollards so that couldn't happen. And it's very, I would also just caution, because I fall into this all the time myself, where I constantly am like, why couldn't they done this? Why didn't they do these things? Why, what the fuck is going on there? First of all, there could have been a fuck up, absolutely, and the people that fucked up will be feeling that guilt and will be suffering consequences for it, you know. And secondly, there are an awful lot of things that none of us know. So as much as I am absolutely the kind of person to be like, why couldn't they have done these things? I'm an event manager. These things should have been in place. All of these basic health and safety stuff. I also don't know whether the guy was driving a van in order to put up a market stall, or the van was parked in a car park inside of the road closures, like inside of the road closure bollards, because he was servicing something, or he got a special permit, or there's so many things that we don't know, you know. Eka Dennis, hello you beautiful India. Oh, Eka Dennis, welcome on in. How you doing? I'm afraid I only speak English, friend, and my mods only speak English, so if you could possibly translate that would be wonderful. Thank you very much. Welcome on in. Hello dear, welcome on in. How you doing, you beautiful being? Thank you very much for translating for me. Unfortunately, I am not intelligent enough to speak more than one language. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But welcome on in. I appreciate you. Somersault, how you doing, you beautiful being? There was a shooting in Seattle too. I've not heard about that. Not as many injured, but still contemplating it's on its service to victims. Blessings and healing sent to anyone impacted.
Panda to my ego. Panda to it. Panda to it.
Unfortunately, Valen, he was previously arrested for incitement, held in detention and released weeks before this attack. He was a known threat, was under the supervision of a probation officer. It is incomprehensible there was no surveillance.
Surveillance. That puts a lot of context. Razor, I didn't realize any of that. Like I said, the information that I've got from, unfortunately, in this day and age, the amount of articles that I can read without either A, selling my soul to Beelzebub himself, or B, subscribing to every single news channel is limited. I get a lot, and I know there is a cosmic fuck ton of misinformation out there. Lots of people just being like, see, it's a win-win for fucking the right wing, because they get to hate on Islamic extremists, which is a terrible fucking situation because it paints all Muslims in exactly the same way, and they also get to hate on the LGBTQIA, and it's just like, this is not making anything better. So there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of hate out there. But I didn't know any of that, Razor. Thank you very much for informing us. That is surprising, I will say. I have always understood that the German police have a powerful reputation for being extremely efficient. So that's really surprising that if that's the case, if they were fully surveilling him and he'd already been arrested for incitement. I know that he was known, or I have heard, should I say, I've read that he has been he was known for trying to join certain religious extremist groups but not being allowed to for some reason. See you later, buddy. You take it easy, beautiful being. I appreciate you. Yeah, I didn't know about the shooting in Seattle. I've not heard that one. The one person in that passed, but way more injured. The first statement said, yeah. So the first statement I read said there was 16 that were injured, but I just did a Google then. It said 29. If the police have hard evidence on people, why do they let them out? It really depends on the legal system, little kitty. This is if somebody paid his bail, you know what I mean? Like there are a lot of different scenarios in which bureaucracy ties the hand of law enforcement, you know. And I'm not saying that people should just fucking trust law enforcement by any stretch of the imagination. Law enforcement people are just the same as everybody else in the regards that they are people, and human beings come with their own prejudices and their own predispositions and stuff. But like, I wouldn't say that any establishment is completely trustworthy. But yeah, the whole thing. How you doing, Curly? Hello, you beautiful bean. If I've got a mod available, could I get a shout out for Curly? Pretty please. Pretty please. Every single fucking religion, absolutely major jiggle. Yeah, this is the thing. How are you? We're talking about a serious subject, Curly, and I should probably give everyone a heads up if you just joined us. This weekend was Pride, my hometown's Pride event, which was amazing, which was absolutely amazing. I went to the Swamp-esque thing, but we're just having a brief discussion on the incident that happened in Berlin over the weekend, where there was an attack, a homophobic attack, where an individual drove a van into the crowds of Pride goers. So we're just taking a moment to discuss that, because it hit me harder than I was expecting it to. And I think it hit me harder because of the fact that literally as that was happening, I was in a place that was also Pride, celebrating love, celebrating acceptance, celebrating inclusivity. Yeah, Curly, it's pretty bad. And naturally, all of the news articles are pushing their own agendas, using very inflammatory language and hate-mongering and fear-mongering language. And I'm just like, could you not use the attack on the LGBTQIA to push your own stupid fucking agendas? Hate the hate? Absolutely. Like Pulse? How do you mean, Authenticator? How do you mean? Is that like one of the articles that you read? It's a whole thing. Because like I said, yeah, I was like literally as it was happening, I was surrounded. Pulse nightclub. I don't know that one, unfortunately, Authenticator. That one's a reference that's passed me by. But then my brain is goo, so maybe I do know the reference, and my brain's just melty. Just melty between the tech issues, the stuff that happened in Berlin, the roller coaster of emotions that was Pride, the extreme fatigue from pushing myself a little bit too hard recently. My brain is just jam. It's just jam and leaking out of my ears, you know. But yeah, and the world just being fully otherist. You know what I mean? Just being like, oh, you should blame them because they're not like you, and it's like, what the fuck? Oh, right. Yeah. I know what you mean. You know, Raspberry Rain Group. Absolutely. Feeling that way. People in any country all over the world have done similar things. Whenever people are shitty and disgusting, they think they can use whatever religion they happen to follow as a reason. And whatever agenda or government is currently following dictates the reason they assign such acts. Steph Gibson, I think it's more what's the word I'm going to use, incestuous than that. I think you're on the right lines, but for me it's a little bit more incestuous than this. Bad people are going to do bad things. They are always going to do bad things, and they will find whatever justification they can to do so. And this is what I have discovered with my experience of the world, is the fact that there are so many people out there that are just bad people, and through various different stages of their life they will do bad things, and whatever excuses they have at the time, they will do bad things. There's certain celebrities at the moment that are like, oh no, all of those bad things I did in the past should be completely forgiven because I've turned to Christ now. And you're like, if you look back through their history, it's like, oh, originally they blamed youth, and then they blamed drugs, and then they blamed rehabilitation, and now they have no one to, like, nothing to excuse them, so they're going to turn to religion because they're completely forgiven now. But actually a lot of abuse happens in religious organizations and stuff, so it actually means that they can then turn to religion to excuse their abuses. There's always an excuse for it, and religious extremism is no exception. The reason why I say that the attack should only be described as a homophobic attack is because the reason doesn't actually fucking matter. The way they have justified their attack doesn't fucking matter. It was a homophobic attack because it was fueled by hate for the queer community. Nothing else actually matters. hatred for the queer community. Any other details around it, any other reasoning or justification or anything like that is purely to point blame and to cause antagonization and create more othering, you know? Hate is hate, period. And it's terrible. I completely agree. Completely agree. So I do think that bad people will do bad things, and they will find whatever excuse they need to do those bad things, whether it be religion or power or classism or race or fuck it. Like one of the biggest things that they find is that, like, especially when it comes to the queer community, one of the biggest things that they find is the vast majority of crime on gay people is because those people are secretly gay. In America, you've got the Republicans who are constantly campaigning against homosexuality, campaigning against the LGBTQIA, and every single time there is a rally, every single time there's a Republican rally in America, Grindr crashes because so many of them are on Grindr. It's just fucking smoke and mirrors and hypocrisy. The leader of the KKK, the leader of the Ku Klux Klan, the Grand Wizard or whatever he was called a few years ago, got arrested for having sex with a young black male prostitute, a gigolo, young black male sex worker, and when he was arrested, his excuse was, "Oh, I was just teaching him a lesson." Or you could, you know, just quit the hate and be accepting and be welcoming. What lesson? Exactly. I was teaching them for a lesson for being a gay sex worker, and you're like, pretty sure they've learned that lesson when they became a gay sex worker. What? What do you, what? I think that's the thing. As I'm getting older, and I am getting older, as I'm getting older, I am becoming just more and more and more aware of hypocrisy. And I think that's what boils my piss more than anything else, is the fact that I'm just like, if people weren't such hypocrites, if they just stopped for a moment and accepted the fact that it's okay for them to have these feelings, the world would be fucking great. We'd be traveling to other galaxies already, because none of us would be bickering between this weird, idle, inane bullshit. You know what I mean? None of that shit would happen. So it's like, what? You know what I mean? You actually applied for a job in Grindr. I love that. I love that. Although saying that, I hope you don't get it, because was it Grindr? Yeah, I'm sure it was Grindr. So I'm gonna confirm my thingies. Confirm first is, yes, I'm glad that you are not, well, I'm hoping that you're not going to work for Grindr, because they are currently suffering a £8.5 million fine for selling users' data without, Grindr faces UK lawsuit for selling HIV data to advertisers. Illegally selling data to advertisers. So yeah, I knew there was something going on there. And my brain is goo, so I like to check my facts before I'm doing that, you know. Curly, we'll go check out my dear friend Curly. Curly's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful being who I have the absolute pleasure, I've had the absolute pleasure of meeting in the real world.
Hand it to it!
Can we safely ignore the balance of occurrences though? Should we not also be trying to work out what's causing an disproportionate amount of violence around culture or religion? Certainly there are sensitivities and biases that must be avoided, but can we safely ignore it just on the grounds of bad people do bad things? It feels a bit like guns don't kill people.
I wouldn't say it was ignoring it. But I think that there is no way to... How do I phrase this carefully on the internet? The answer to that question first requires us to step away from othering religions. It first requires us to treat all religious extremism as the same. And until society can treat all religious extremism as the same, regardless of whether it's Christian, Islam, Hindu, fucking Buddhist, regardless of the religion, until you can confirm that every single one of them gets treated exactly the same, you are never going to be able to break it down into where it comes from, because there is too much othering. Like when in this sexual therapy course that I'm doing, I know it's a bit of a weird tangent, but in this sexual therapy course that I'm doing, it talks about how there are so many different elements that can build up and lead into sexual non-concordance, for lack of a better term, like sexual dysfunction of some description. And that doesn't have to be necessarily that they are like they can't get it up or they can't get wet or what have you, but there's so many different elements in regards to that, and until you can break down each of those elements and treat them equally, you're not going to get to the cause of it, as it were. So if what you're saying is, can we really ignore it? I wouldn't say we would ignore it. I would say that there are so many steps. Okay. I'm being very careful about my wording, because this is the internet, and this, like, as soon as it's on the internet, it's there forever. There's two elements of it. There's the societal element, and there's the media element. The societal element, I genuinely think, is all about, like, okay, you need to break it down, going, right, okay, we're going to treat all religious extremism exactly the fucking same. And then you've got the media element, and the media element is you need to be punished for sensationalizing shit, and your company as a media outlet needs to be punished for sensationalizing shit and othering people. Because until you get both of those things in line, you are not going to be able to stop the othering. There's always going to be people pointing the fingers. Oh, I don't like them though. It's them because of that religion. It's them because of that sexuality. It's them because it's their own fault, you know? Like there will be people out there talking about hate just being horrible and nasty and what have you. There will be people out there that equally blame, like, will be that bigoted in their own thoughts that are like, well, what did they expect? They were gay. Well, what did they expect from him? He's a Muslim. He's obviously a terrorist. People like that exist, you know? And as much as I completely agree with you in the regards of it is always far more complicated than just hate equals hate, there will be root causes for it. There will be, for psychologists that are far more educated and intelligent than I am, there will absolutely be, and criminologists, there will absolutely be root causes for it. But until you can stop the separation of different religions, until you can stop, like, Islamic extremists being called terrorists and Christian extremists being called mass shooters, Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to treat them all fucking equally as religious extremists before you can break down the origins of these dynamics, you know? Because there are extremists of every religion. Well, certainly that's my opinion of it. You are welcome to share your own, and I mean, I'm willing to have my opinion changed, as always. It just feels very, yeah, othering. Do you know what I mean? Well, what did they expect? They listened to that newfangled rock music. Exactly. Extremism is very dangerous. Yeah. Extremism, anything. Yeah. What did they expect? Those people listened to Andrew Tate. What did they expect? Those people believed in this religion. What did they expect? Those people were playing Dungeons and Dragons, which we all know leads to Satanism. Do you know what I mean? Like the Satanic Panic. Yeah. There is always levels of blame, and it's hard, I think, as well, for us to, without all of the facts, and we're never going to get all of the facts. I live on the internet, do you know what I mean? Without all of the facts, we are only ever going to be speculating, if that makes sense. And it's good for us to speculate, good for us to talk about, good for us to be open and honest about these things so that we can all grow as people and be aware of these dangers, you know? But I don't want to... I think the reason why I wanted to be very clear, the fact that I'm like, this wasn't an Islamic attack, this was a homophobic attack. Because the religion, the reason for it doesn't fucking matter. In the regards of, this was caused because of hate of gay people. Was the hate of gay people originated in religion? Was it originated in culture? Was it originated in the fact that the guy got it beat into him as a kid? There's a variety of different things, none of which we are ever going to know. But by calling it an Islamic attack, we are blaming Muslims. By calling it a homophobic attack, we are blaming homophobia. And that is a very clear distinction, because I know many Muslim people that are very, very open-minded and very welcoming and very wonderful, wonderful people. And I would never lump those people in with what happened on Saturday in Berlin. You know? Does that make sense, Razotta? Are you following my thought pattern here? Because I think I know what you're saying. And I agree with you. I agree with you that it should never be as simple as, oh, well, it's hate, so what are we expecting, or what have you. There is always a cause, and it's worth digging into that cause and what have you, but I don't think we are capable of doing that, because we're never going to have all the facts. But I also think we've got to be careful about how we talk about these things, for fear of accidentally blaming a party that isn't worth blaming, if that makes sense. There's a fair distinction. Yeah. I knew you'd understand, but I like to double check. You know. 100% understand what you mean. I grew up as a Catholic, on the Catholic countryside, and it depends how your parents introduced and handled religion towards you. You either have blind trust, or the blind trust that is demanded makes you skeptical. I personally was the latter. Always felt something was off about the Catholic Church, talking about Catholic beliefs and nothing else. Read the Bible when I was a teenager, and yep, been proven right. To be fair, Fuyuto, one day I'll get your name right, I swear. I was raised Catholic, but my parents were very much, this is what we believe. You are welcome to believe whatever you would like to. At one stage, I was even debating becoming a priest. Mainly because the idea of being an exorcist sounded very exciting to me. It all sounded very exciting to me. Priest Valen, Father Val, do you know what I mean? Was forced to go to Sunday school. I was not forced to go to Sunday school until I was taking my Holy Communion, and then I was forced to go to Sunday school. But yeah, I knew, I know well, I think he's retired now. He's a retired exorcist. I knew him, and that idea excited me. That idea excited me, you know. But I would never say like I was ever encouraged to believe blindly. Me and my parents have many philosophical and theological debates. And there is a fair chance that I will be having another one in a couple of months' time with a religious podcaster. Still working that all out, or I'm still working that all out as to whether I even want to do it or not. But yeah, it's an interesting endeavor, an interesting concept. But even then, like, I know, like, in fact, you know what? That's actually a perfect example for Yoto. Like, for Yoto? Oh my god. For Yoto. That's actually a perfect example because my dad grew up in IRA Britain. Or IRA Ireland. So he grew up where people were walking down the street, gangs of people were walking down the street and looking at you and going Catholic or Protestant. And if you said the wrong one, you were fucked. While I was in Ireland, somebody got nailed to a fence because they were the wrong type of Catholic or wrong type of Christian. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was a bad fucking time, but it's a perfect example of religious extremism. It doesn't matter the fact that you follow the same God. It doesn't matter the fact that the only difference between the masses that you have are about 8 different prayers. It doesn't matter any of that shit. None of that matters because it wasn't about the religion. It was about the control. It was about the power. It was about the ganglandism. It was about the tribalism. You are not one of us. You are the other side of us. You are not like us. You are a different type of Christian. And it's like, we follow the same fucking God. What the fuck are you talking about? In fact, that's a perfect example. Judaism, Islam, and Christians all follow the same God. It's all exactly the same dude. They're the same person. And yet, we have entire crusades that slaughter thousands because you don't follow the God in the right way. You follow them in a different way to us. You must be wrong. What? The fuck are you talking about? Same dude. You know? People always tell me I'm not appropriate. Not appropriate for what, being a Catholic? I mean, appropriate as you want. My parents are definitely not appropriate for Catholics, but they are the pinnacle of fantastic Christians. As in, they love people. They will accept you just for being you because they believe in the tenet of do not judge others lest ye be judged. Do not yet let he who is without sin cast the first stone. They will absolutely go out of their way to help people for the sake of helping people. They are fantastic examples of Christians, which is why I think I always got very, very confused when I saw them being amazing examples of Christians and then saw all of the other Christians of the world being like, why are you so obsessed with hate? Why are you so obsessed with hate? The age-old internet phrase, there is no love like, there is no hate like Christian love. And it's like, you make no sense, friends. Why are you like this? You know? Hindsight is 2020, as they say. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's plenty of fucking things that I like look back on in my life and I'm like, I could have done those things differently. I should have done those things differently. I should have handled that situation better. But at the time, I genuinely, truly believe that every single human person, though they may be misguided, though they may have been brainwashed, every single human being, no matter how fucking evil, No, let me tell that again. Every single human being, apart from people who are actually like psychopaths or sociopaths or narcissists, those are like my exemption clauses there, genuinely do things because they think it is in the best interests of the loved ones, the people around them, etc. Like it's that whole thing of like the road to hell is paved with good intentions, because loads and loads of people do things because they think it's the best thing to do, given the information that they have at the time and their understanding of the world. You do get certain like billionaires, for example, who are sociopathic, psychopathic, narcissistic pricks who absolutely only give a shit about themselves. But generally speaking, we're talking about generically on the human race as a species. I think the vast majority of people do things because they think it's the right thing to do, and then afterwards go, that wasn't the fucking right thing to do. I made a fucking mistake there. You know? From my time in town, finally doing pride parades, shut down the main street and have cops at anywhere cars can drive, besides parked ones, of course. But sadly, I'm in Texas and we still have those people who are just hateful. They tore down all the pride flags last year and destroyed anything that had pride flags on it, even off the porches of stores. Honestly, Fornamos, I'm not surprised at that by any stretch of imagination, but it really highlights how much pride is needed. How much pride is needed. My hometown is a very right-wing city. Very, very right-wing city. Always surprises me when I'm wandering around because everyone's very, very nice and pleasant and what have you, but we are very right-wing. I'm not, but they are. And every year when Pride is announced, there is always the threat of violence. There is always the threat of people turning up to cause violence. And every year we turn up anyway. We're not there to fight, but we are there to say, you can't get rid of us. You know? Don't watch the news as much as I used to. Being a black woman in America, I find myself protecting my mental health a little more, and fully understandable. Fully understandable. How it goes out to Berlin? Yeah. I know that this is the community that definitely would rally around something like that for sure, you know? Catching up a wee bit, friends. Just catching up a wee bit. As well, it's definitely scary. All the hate in 2026 is outrageous. Yes, but we've also got to remember, friends. We all have to remember that the hate sounds a lot louder because social media has meant that the hateful ones look like they are constantly walking around with megaphones. And you get like numbers where it's like, 100,000 people. And it's like, yeah, those people are saying 100,000 people. Actually, like 1,000 people turned up. Or 5,000 people turned up. And it's like, they're going to say 100,000 people and show you videos that make it look like it's a really, really busy situation because they want people to believe that their cause is magnified, etc. Look at, well, actually, no, I'm not gonna give examples. There are an awful lot of politicians that like to exaggerate numbers, shall we say. However, like, we are very much in the age of, like, I think they call it the information age, was like the age of like the 90s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, where it was like the internet was like really kicking off and becoming a social thing, and the world was existing, and now I feel like we are in the misinformation age because no one can believe anything. With AI, with the fact that people don't fucking fact check, with the fact that they have actively removed fact checking requirements from social media platforms, with like so many people saying whatever the fuck they want to say because damn the consequences, and there not being any consequences when they are caught out. It's like, yeah, we are in an age of misinformation. You know? Really appreciate how you put the need to phrase it correctly. The root cause is homophobia. That needs to be the focus. Absolutely. Understanding, like, the the sources of that homophobia is not a bad thing, as Razor pointed out earlier. But it's we've just got to be careful not to start laying blame where it's not warranted, you know? This was an individual, a single person who was filled with hate for the LGBTQIA and caused damage because of that, you know? Bionic Bunny, how you doing, you beautiful being? Welcome on in, welcome on in. Fucking hell, I just choked on my drink. Look, sometimes it'll be like that, you know? You kink unlock. I did a Halloween event many moons ago as a priest. For the sheer shits and giggles of it. My partner at the time went as a little devil, and she looked fucking stunning, if I'm honest with you. It was a very fun thing turning up as a priest, and she was just like, "I'm here to tempt him," and I was like, "That's fair." That is fair. But again, what if you for real? Because if I was religious, is exactly how you raise my theoretical child. I'm very glad that you got the experience. Oh yeah, that's exactly how I was raised. Yuto. That's right. That's right. I'm now questioning whether I get your name right every single time. So, I mean, forgive me, Father. You are, well, I don't know actually. Major Jiggle, your penance for your sins will be to get on your knees and greedily guzzle cock of a consenting adult. There you go. There you go. Or you know, or vulva. I will be forgiving and allowing you to choose your genitalia of preference. But either way, you are going to be on your knees and indulging in genitalia, okay? Seriously considering being a nun when you're raised Catholic, a bit of a hazard. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. My husband moved to Belfast at 16 and asked, who do you support? And he said, being cheeky twat, my legs, because they support me. And he was punched repeatedly. Yeah, I got away very, very early on where somebody went Catholic or Protestant, and I went English. And they went, "Wah," and in them going, "Wah," I ran away. I was about fucking 14 at the time. But that could have gone horribly, horribly wrong. That could have gone horribly, horribly fucking wrong. Because neither of them liked the English. So it was a stupid thing to say. In fact, one of my exes from years and years and years and years and years and years and years ago gave me a call. Oh my God, I remember it so fucking clearly. And they were like, I am in this city that was like my dad's home city. And he was like, I'm in this city. And I was like, oh, right, okay, interesting. And they were like, yeah, family are over in Ireland and what have you. And I've decided to go out to the city and just have a little wander around and stuff. I was like, cool. And she was like, yeah, I've just gone into a pub actually. And I was like, right. And I was like, what pub? And she was like, insert the name of the pub here. And I went, are you fucking for real? Get out now. Get out now. Get out now. And she, I've just ordered a drink. And I'm like, get out now. Leave your drink. Get out now. Get out of that fucking pub. Because you have the most British of British accents. And the moment that somebody fucking hears that, the wrong crowd hear that, you are fucked. And she's like, everyone's being pleasant. And I was like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. She did. But fuck my life. There was heart-pounding moments. Heart-pounding moments for a moment there. Because that was exactly the that was one of the pubs that was well known to be like a known meeting place for very aggressive IRA members. And I was like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Would Buddhist have been a good answer? No. The thing about if you meet a gang of people that are going around asking people Catholic or Protestant in Ireland, it doesn't happen as much these days, but it was a big thing in like the 90s, 2000s, and definitely in the 70s and 80s, is the fact that unless you give them the right answer, they are going to fight you. Or more specifically, kick the shit out of you. The right answer is whatever they are. If they are Catholic, then the right answer is Catholic. If they are Protestant, then the right answer is Protestant. Doesn't matter. Every other answer is wrong. It's like, but If you did said Buddhist, that might make them confused, like when I said English, and it makes them confused for a moment, and then you get a chance to run away. But don't think that there is like a get out clause, because there isn't. There is not. Wasn't there a European war that started in Eastern Europe over one finger versus two finger blessings? Probably Sappho. I don't know about that one. I do know that during the Crusades, there were like, during a certain period of the Crusades, there were like 7 different popes, because each different region kind of wanted their own pope. They didn't trust any of the other popes, so there was loads of different popes that were ordained, and it was like, what? Why? What? My parents are a rare exception, I'm afraid. When I grew up, wasn't even just asking follow-up questions regarding something. Just one of the priests just raised an eyebrow at the best, and just all the topic of local gossip. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, unfortunately, this is what I mean by religious extremism. People think about religious extremism just purely in the aggressive, violent kind, and it's like, actually, no. Religious extremism can come in all forms. Can come in absolutely fucking all forms, including just control and suppression of people. Which is why I always say I will never criticize a person's faith. That is a relationship between them and their God. I will always criticize organized religion, because that is a system of control. That is a system of control. Managed to get kicked out of the church as a child for asking, why do you keep reading the same book? The library has more. It just kind of never went back. I did not ultimately raised in a religious way. It's absolutely wild how my friends who were raised religiously respond to things compared to me sometimes. Myself and Rach, you're here as well. Myself and Rach had a conversation about this the other day. If God, as explained in the Bible, so this isn't a slight on anybody who believes in God or what have you. If you believe in God, that's between you and your chosen deity, etc., and your belief of them and the way they are. But purely as they are explained in the Bible, purely as they are described through the Old Testament and the New Testament respectively, if God was an actual person, as opposed to a deity, if God was an actual person and showed those characteristics, psychologists would say they had narcissism or narcissistic tendencies. No worries, Major Jiggle, you sleep well. Absolutely. And then we had a big discussion about like religious trauma or unwitting religious trauma, and whether people who were raised in a religious dynamic, specifically to do with Christianity at the very, very least, were more susceptible to getting with narcissistic partners, because narcissistic partners display the characteristics that we are taught when we grow up in religious upbringings. I'm not going to go into the conversation now, but it was an interesting thought process. It was an interesting thought process, you know? My best friend whose productions we've been to see, Valen, had mental spikes driven through his arms into a wall. Oh, metal spikes, because he was driven into a wall because he went to a religious school. And he was not of that religion, not naming religions, but it's not about that. Wow. Fucking hell. Yeah, that's fucked. That's fucked. Jesus Christ, Rach, I didn't know about that. That's real fucked. Lordithers, welcome on in. How you doing? He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. At least I come by that kink, honestly. Oh, the me dressed as a priest kink. And do you know what the thing is? I actually have like the proper priest clothing upstairs. I ordered it many moons ago. In fact, for that outfit I was talking about earlier. Brutus a Midian highlighting a message. Fun fact, there was an IRA safe houses down the road where I grew up. Had to pass it getting to school. There was a near constant police presence on that corner through the 80s to the mid 90s. There was a few times it got raided. Memorable, yeah. The cops all had mobile spotlights, and as a kid, I thought I was in a Mad Max situation. Honestly, I can understand it. Druids of Midian, it's difficult for me, because I didn't, like, I remember my dad's hometown, oh, it'll be the other way around. I remember my dad's hometown with a lot of fondness growing up. In fact, you know, it'll be the 70s, won't it? And then I saw pictures of my dad's hometown during the period that he grew up. Let me see if I can find the exact photo I was thinking about. And it looks like an episode of Mad Max. None of these are what I'm after. Try this instead. This is it. This is the exact image I'm thinking of. Or was it that one? No, it's not. This one. Excuse me? That took a minute to recognize there. This is an image of the city that my dad grew up in during the time that he grew up in it. And this was a scene after a car bomb went off, which was a relatively regular occurrence. And seeing these images, like my dad would talk about like times that him and his friends would go and antagonize local British Army people until they fired rubber bullets at them as teenagers, and then they would stand just out of range so they could go collect all the rubber bullets afterwards, until one of his friends got accidentally clocked with one of the rubber bullets and now he's blind. And like he'd talk about it with such like childish jovialness, because that's how him and his friends spent their childhoods. And it was only when I started seeing images like this where I was like, oh fuck. Like, you grew up. It's one thing to be like, okay, you grew up in the Troubles in Ireland. You grew up in the difficulties in Ireland. You grew up in the Catholic versus Protestant section, what have you. It's very rarely described as like a proper war zone, and that's what it was, as photos like this are evidence of. Do you know what I mean? So it's interesting. This photo in particular put a lot of context to the kind of environment that my dad grew up in. But I think it's possibly because of the fact that my dad grew up in that environment that he is so full of love and understanding now, if that makes sense. Because he's seen the worst, or certainly some of the worst that humanity has, that can offer. And as a result, he's like, I'm going to keep doing all the things that I can do to fill it with love, because all of the things that are directly in front of me are infinitely better than what I saw growing up. You know? Not that there's any excuse or reason for this kind of extremism, and that's what it is. It's extremism. But yeah, puts a lot of things into context. I feel puts a lot of things into context, to say the least. Let me scroll down a wee bit. Mel Sign-Up coming with the 65 streams in a week. I'm Nastasia with the 7 streams in a streak. Should I say? Streaking through here, cheeky devils. You probably know of that then, Valen. I attended a special training lasting a year to prepare for the communion. One time, everyone was supposed to draw an image of how you see God. I returned with a blank paper saying I don't think that God necessarily has a physical form, therefore I can't draw a picture, and they were unable to cope. Gave it back and told me to draw. I drew a very cheery, happy kindergarten-like son and take the piss out of them, and they got that. Still warms my heart. Yeah, most people, when I was a kid and we were told to draw God, most of the kids drew a cloud. It was like, if you imagine a stereotypical view of Zeus with a fucking ripped body and long white beard and white hair flowing everywhere and glowing eyes, but imagine his bottom half was a cloud. It was like cloud, like a centaur, but the horse bit is a cloud and the man bit is Zeus. That was how nearly all of us drew God. That was just how he was supposed to be, apparently. You know? It was this big. Exactly. Oh, debuff gal, you take it easy. Well, you've got to disappear off. No worries. You've probably already left by the time I get to this, but, you know, I appreciate you. I think I will attract one place's numbers media events, the World Cup, at least here. I can't speculate on the World Cup. I have very little interest in it. There's a quote I quite like. If you don't listen to the news, you're uninformed. If you do, you're misinformed. Ooh, that's a good one, Milky Bock. I like that. That's interesting. There are concerns about classification of arrests, certainly, but when Europol highlights 71% of threats coming from the same group, we have to start looking at targeted solutions, just like we focus on resource on population groups and more predisposition to diabetes or anemia. I mean, that makes sense in my head, Razotta. If they're not doing that, I would be surprised if there wasn't a good reason for it. I don't really know too much about the way that Interpol works or Europol works, to be honest with you. You can just call me Fuyu. I will definitely do that from now on, Fuyu. Oh no, it's terrible punishment. Oh no, major jiggle. Oh no. Listen. Okay, all good. Go to penance today. Forgive me, Valen, for I have sinned. That is, today's penance is that you must, if you have sinned today, then you must be forgiven for that sin. Your penance is to get on your knees in front of a consenting adult, providing that you yourself are over the age of 18, because I assume that all of you are over the age of 18 because you are here, and therefore you should be over the age of 18. And your penance will be to guzzle their genitalia until they are satisfied. Absolutely. Beverage break, ring-a-ding-ding. I live in Arizona, going to be upwards of 110 today. Good lord, we've been talking for so long. Beverage break, please. Yeah, that's all right. I've got my beverage. I do this all the time, though, ladies Andrea. So thank you so much for your concern. Genuinely, thank you. But I'm all right. I'm okay. This is a regular occurrence for me in regards to, like, these streams normally last 3 to 3.5 hours, 3, maybe 4 hours, depending on how interesting the conversation gets. Might be a little less today because my brain is gooey as shit, but like I'm kind of used to this behavior and the way that we do this. But I appreciate you looking out for me. I was going to a gay and trans affirming church for a while and even wrote some theology. Excuse me. I had to stop because I just don't think it's true, but I am still friends with the priest. Yeah. I've got priests as friends. I'm still in contact with that exorcist that I was talking about before. Like I said, he's retired now, but I'm still in contact with him. And we talk theology, discuss bits and pieces, you know. I'm not against the discussions. I find theology as a subject to be fascinating. A very, very interesting study. Even though I do not believe in any of it at all, I find the concept of it and the constructs of it and the way that it has been used and utilized to first to explain things that people didn't previously understand, then to explore dynamics of philosophy and theology and socialism, and also the bad part of it, the control, the systems of populist control that has spanned out across the entire globe. Yeah, I'm very, very interested in it. Fascinating to me. Not always good, but fascinating. For sure. How you doing, Qualia, as well? How you beautiful bean? Wonder what if you said pagan to them, one true cribble, you would probably get fucked up. Because certainly, I don't know about now, but certainly in like the 90s, fucking hell, what was I at 2014? Yeah, so late 90s. If you use the word pagan to a lot of the Irish people, so the Irish people that I met, they'd be like, "Oh, you're a witch. You're a witch and you serve Satan." That's just it. You're a witch and you serve Satan. You need to be saved. We're gonna take you to a church right now and throw you them holy water at you. You turn around, someone turns around and goes Catholic or Protestant, you say pagan, there's a good chance that they'll just fuck you up on the spot. Or that's how it was. That's how it was. For sure. When I moved to Scotland, I'm English, went to a pub in Dumfries with my husband, Scottish, and our Chinese but Belfast accent friend. Accidentally sat under a carving on the wall that had the Treaty of Arbroath in it. Don't know that one. Downed our drinks and skedaddled. The Treaty of Arbroath. That one's new on me. What is that? Treaty of Arbroath is often confused with the Declaration of Arbroath, which is a letter sent to Pope John the 22nd in 1320, asserting Scottish independence. The actual treaty, known as the Treaty of Edinburgh-Northampton, was signed in 1328, recognised as Scottish independence and ending hostilities between Scotland and England. The Declaration of Arbroath. Oh, because you were English yourself? Ah, okay. Is that like the new thing of like people using the St. George's flag in order to rally their bigotry and racism? People in Scotland to use the Treaty of Arbroath. Is that a thing? Don't know, but actually, I'm asking Major Jiggle. Major Jiggle isn't here. Now, and how do we fight the hate? By surviving. Self-care is resistance. Water yourself, nourish yourself, seek connections. I've got a little tickle at the back of my throat. Support, hygiene yourself. Every heartbeat is a radical resistance. Yeah, to a certain degree, for sure. For sure. And remember, friends, that you can be an ally just by being there for people. Like, there was a movement a few years ago. Excuse me. There was a movement a few years ago where people were saying that if you are not actively standing against homophobia and bigotry all of the time, then you aren't an ally. And that's simply not true. That is simply not true. There are many situations where it would be unsafe to do that for yourself and for the people that you know and love, to be openly that defensive, as it were. You can be an ally just by being there for your friends, listening to them when they are struggling, for sending them messages being like, are you okay? checking in on them, being like, hey, if you want to come round and do these, I don't know, you want to wear dresses round at my house, or you want to try binders round at my house, or you the things where they're unsafe to do it elsewhere, and you providing them a safe space, that is allyship. Signing documents so they can get their names legally changed, that is allyship. You know, leave the aggressive, outspoken defense to people like me who have the extra spoons to be able to do shit like that and have very little understanding of consequence, very little understanding and care of consequence. I absolutely am the person that will stand up and say all the shit that needs to be said, and I am also not going to judge people that don't do that. You know. Ben just had saying you just had to say the consenting adult part, and now hadn't you? Since I am sitting here trying to jumpstart my brain, but it just won't brain. Damn it, there's some shit that I need to do later. For you, absolutely. We always say consenting adults to really reinforce the fact that they should be consenting adults. Always consenting adults. I know that that's a known thing here, but just to reinforce it, you know. Sharp Blue, welcome on in. How you doing, you beautiful individual? I recently discovered you on Instagram and finally managed to catch a bit of the live stream. Love the conversation and your community seems lovely. Looking forward to joining more streams in the future. P.S. My 6-year-old daughter absolutely loves your voice and your on your Instagram. One of her favorite people to listen to. Oh, I'm very appreciative of that, Sharp Blue. I do hope that you listen to them first to make sure that they are of suitable content. Although saying that, if she's 6, she probably won't understand my euphemisms. I'm there talking about the rumpy bumpy bumping ugly and the meaty love truncheon. Yeah, I would hate to corrupt her ears too young, you beautiful being, but thank you very much for the compliment. I really, really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Yes, indeed, but definitely won't let her on these streams. That is entirely fair, because first of all, 18 plus. Second of all, my language is far more colorful. Far more colorful. When people come in and they're like, oh, what the fuck are you? And I'm like, oh, go lick the aging sweat from the stubbly wrinkles of a goat's scrotum. It definitely paints a picture. Do you know what I mean? It's a different picture to what many people would be up for. Is that auto modded still? It is. Huh. Interesting. Tint of Ginge, you beautiful bin. One of your messages got held for the word queer. I'm not happy about that. Are you still here, Tint of Ginge? Lady Donegon, Mom? Computer said no. Oh no, troubles. Yeah, oh yeah, the thing is, you are here. That's cool. I'm going to answer your thing now. I suspect that my local Protestant church in my teeny, tiny, itty-bitty village is quite queer. I haven't been around there enough to find out just how much. There are actually a lot of queers in this area. There are a lot of queers in this area. Love discovering more and more about us. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing, is like there's so many churches out there. Like the Rainbow Church is like a popular one that is like very queer accepting because they believe that love is love, you know? And that's lovely. And it's like, I know so many religious gay people. And that always surprised me at first when I was first understanding the world of the LGBTQIA. Because I was like, how can you be religious and gay when religion condemns gayisms? And it's like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. By any stretch of imagination. People will use religion to condemn being queer. But realistically speaking, it's not about that. It's all about love and acceptance. You know. You know. You know. Cross between Mad Max and Fallout. Remember the news back in the late 80s, early 90s? Some scary stuff. Yeah, absolutely, Tigger. It really, really was. Went to visit. Well, I will tell you now that when my mother first started dating my dad, and was like, oh, I'm going to go over to Northern Ireland to meet his family and meet his parents. My grandparents on my mother's side were like, are you fucking for real? You're dating a terrorist? Misinformation still existed back then. We didn't need the internet for it. But that was their first thoughts. It was like, you're dating a terrorist. You're dating an Irishman from Northern Ireland. You are dating a terrorist. And it's like, no, not all of them are terrorists. In exactly the same way that the Muslim faith is being condemned now, the Irish were being condemned back then. You know? Went to visit my family in Northern Ireland during the 80s and 90s. It was terrifying sometimes. Absolutely. This world is a different type of grit, but with grit and determination and intelligence, we can heal one another just a little bit to keep fighting. Absolutely. Absolutely, Zendria. And this is the thing, this is one of the reasons why I do what I do, to be honest with you, and why I talk about the things I talk about, and why I openly discuss these bits and pieces, because I think with discussions like these, we can come to learn more about each other, learn more about ourselves, be more forgiving, be more accepting, be more understanding. Fucking, I've got a right little frog in the throat here. But and I also understand that there are lots of people on the internet who do not have the mental capacity or the mental spoons, as we call them, to be able to have these conversations. It can very quickly spiral out of control, especially if you've got some particularly opinionated individuals in your community, which we do, but you delightful individuals are all very respectful about that. We used to have some very opinionated individuals who are not respectful about that, and they were just bolshy little dickheads. Those people are no longer with us, which is great. But no longer with us as in they have moved on to different communities. I don't know their current living status, okay? Okay? Music's a bit loud. I have to turn it down manually because I got a new graphics card, and for some reason my graphics card has now fucked up all of my audio. But that's a by and by scenario. But yeah, I do think that conversations like this are really important. I think they're really important to discuss, to explore, to learn, to change our perspectives. I mean, my perspectives have literally changed tonight due to some of the things that you've all said today. So it's good to have this kind of space where we can discuss these things in a mature, educated, and respectful manner, you know? So it's really not exactly a war zone. The British media played it down so much. They really fucking did, yeah, absolutely. Since this is a topic of conversation, does anyone know any good books about the IRA? Written by people who are actually being a part of it, their relatives of some witnesses not being part of it, etc. How life was back then, the history behind it, the culture, and why those drastic things happened. Just read some bits and there so far. I mean, I can't recommend any books off the top of my head. I could probably ask my dad. My dad would probably have some good information about that. The TLDR of the main reason was that basically the Protestants wanted to be part of, well, the Protestant church was part of like the Church of England, or like an offshoot of the Church of England, and they wanted to be part of the United Kingdom. The Catholics wanted to be part of the rest of Ireland, and the whole fight over Northern Ireland was, do you want to be part of the United Kingdom or do you want to be part of Ireland? And that was kind of like the origin of it, as I understand it. Because it all realistically started with King Henry VIII when he decided to fuck off the Catholic Church and make his own church. That's kind of where it all really began. But it obviously then grew as time went on and became more extremist, more convoluted, more people would use it as a way to push their own agendas, as it were. So yeah, there was a lot going on there. Queen Mary and Elizabeth, yeah, straight after that, yeah. Because it was like Henry VIII telling the Catholic Church to fuck off, making his own church, then Mary being like, no, we're all going back to Catholic, and then Elizabeth going, no, we're all going back to Protestant, and then it went on, and then it went on, you know. And grew up in Wexford and always had fond memories, even though there was war going on. Yeah. I mean, the thing about war is the fact that the people who live through it have to look for the silver linings, or they give up to despair. You know. So when you live in that kind of dynamic, and I know there's plenty of wars going on at the moment, and there'll be plenty of children growing up in those wars. Is the fact that those kids will still play with the ball in the dusty streets and stuff where it's a fucking desolate fucking wasteland, but they're still children. They still want to have a good time. They're still going to have those mentalities of learning and trying to look for joy and trying to look for acceptance, and you know, like, it's a horrible, horrible situation, but you still see it. And that was the same for my dad growing up in IRA Island, effectively. It's like horrible shit's fucking happening, car bombs are going off and what have you, but he's still going to be playing with his mates, taunting British soldiers to fire rubber bullets at them because they think it's fun, you know. Looks like a bunch of war going in the late 70s, early 80s with the last military government. Couldn't possibly understand that any like without knowing exactly where you came from and the history behind it, hey Lasana, but yeah, it's definitely eye-opening for sure. Driving over the borders through checkpoints, having our caravan checked, armed police everywhere. Yep, I remember all of those things. I also remember being fucking amazed when they got rid of the checkpoints between Northern and Southern Ireland, and I was like, wait, what? We're not getting checked? Oh shit! What is this? What's going on? It makes perfect sense. He appreciates good times because of the hardships. You cannot have the sweet without the sour. Absolutely, Speed Razor. Absolutely. And that's what I think in my mind when I'm having a fucking shit period of life, when things are not going well, when I'm very much struggling for one reason or another. I am glad that I have got the ability to have this shit time, because this gives me perspective for all of the good times I have experienced and have yet to experience. This bit sucks. This bit I fucking hate. This bit is ripping my heart through my anus. But in respect to everything else that I have experienced and will experience, like, it's actually gonna help me appreciate those good things all the more, you know. I keep getting ads, hope they help. Not sure how Twitch really works. No worries, ladies Andrea. So basically every hour we get 3 minutes of adverts. They will only ever last 3 minutes. It might be like you've got 12 adverts, but the amount of time that they run is exactly the same. It could be like 1 3-minute advert, or it could be fucking 12 10-second adverts, or whatever the scenario. I can't do quick math. Whatever the scenario, you will only ever get exactly 3 minutes of adverts. If you are watching on a PC or you're watching on desktop, what often happens is this entire stream shrinks up above the chat. So imagine this is the chat at the side there. It'll shrink up as like a thing here. You can actually mute the adverts and pop that out. I am happy to tell you this because it is a Twitch feature that they have. They don't publicize it, but they do have it. And if they have it, then they must be okay with it. So you can actually pop out the mini video, as it were, so you don't actually miss out on anything. You just pop it out and turn the volume up, and you don't miss out on any content. However, the adverts that you watch, the adverts that you persevere through for the 3 minutes that they run, I do get 40% of. Is it 40%? 60%? Do you know what? I'm gonna literally just check right now. I'm just gonna check right now. Can't remember how much percent it is. 60%. Ads manager. Revenue share for advertisers. 55%. I get 55% of the net revenue of those adverts that show on my stream for everybody that watches them. So for all those people that do persevere through the ads, I am very, very grateful for that. Very grateful to all of you, you beautiful beings. He who increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. It's differently these days. Yes. But I also have a lot of hope with it, One True Cripple. As much as I do agree with the statement, I do have a lot of hope with it. Because with every horrible tragedy, and they are fucking horrible tragedies, it reinforces the need for change. And even though history seems to go in cycles where it is like bigoted, 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 progressive, 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 bigoted, 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 we are still, even though it's like a circle, it's still rolling forwards. So it's still going in cycles, but constantly moving forward towards a better future. We are currently on the fucking back turn at the moment. The back bit where we're about to go back into the shit and shit. Or maybe we're in a little bit in the shit, but we will come out the other side. And when we do come out the other side, we will still be progressing a little bit further forward as an entire species, societally. I truly believe that. I genuinely, truly believe that. So as much as I completely agree that the more I learn and the more I know, the more I get depressed at the state of the world, the more it does give me hope. Maybe that's just because I'm a perpetual optimist. But it does give me hope about the progression of society and the push of the future. Because the more that these things happen, the more that the horrible shit happens, the more that society has to react to it. And overall, society reacts in a more... It doesn't feel like it reacts more in understanding, but actually when you actually go out and see people and do bits and pieces, it generally speaking is more more understanding and more forgiving and more, inclusive. How do kids nowadays draw God? Then I stopped drawing ripped Gandalf van art. Yeah, don't know, Berserker. Good question. DJ Local Host, how you doing, you beautiful bean? Grew up in Belfast, normal had to have 2 or 3 shootings or kneecappings on the news every week. Yeah, become numb to it. Yeah, I can imagine you probably do.
Oh, you followed me. Ooh, you little stalker.
Thank you so much for the follow, you beautiful bean. I don't like to call people out just in case they're lurking. So, like, if we're talking psychosocial studies, so the psychology of societies, they have worked out that the average giving a shit period for a society is 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, people are like, oh, I'm used to this now. And the example that I tend to give is the war in Ukraine. The war in Ukraine is still happening. What were the parameters? Based on... As I understand it, based on social media interactions. So news would come out about something. Everyone would kick off. Everything would be absolutely fucking awful. Everything would be fucking terrible. Oh my god, it's the worst thing that's ever happened. How the fuck has this happened? This is the war in Ukraine was the example that I used. So like, this is World War III. It's going to spiral. This is going to be the end of the world. World War III, we're going to end up being nuclear. It's going to be, oh my god, it's going to be the absolute worst thing that's ever fucking happened. Oh my god, this is awful. That was the same way it was across all, like, some people were overreacting. Some people were like talking about things. And let me be very, very clear. I am very much against war in general. Very much against war in general, but specifically when it's an unfair and unjust war, and illegal war. But taking my personal opinions out of it for the purpose of this analysis. Like it hit everyone. The war was declared, the invasion was happening, everyone was fucking appalled. Some people were sensationalist about it, some people they fucking exaggerated about it, some people immediately rallied to help, some people immediately rallied to do charity work and what have you, and some people very openly stood against it, some people were standing for it. Regardless, there was a lot of talk about it. It was the thing that dominated the news in the United Kingdom. At the very least, it dominated the news for 3 weeks. And at the end of the 3 weeks, you would hear about it every so often. It would go from being the main news article every single day to the main news article every 3 days. Then the main news article once a week. Then the main news article once a month. They'd only update you if there was anything major worth talking about. And that is pretty standard for most things. It's also the reason why, if there are ever any, let's call them scandalous charges placed against celebrities or content creators or anything like that, the legal teams and social media teams will always advise that person to say nothing. Don't say a single thing. Don't admit it, don't deny it, do nothing for a month. Because within that month, people will talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and speculate and speculate and speculate and speculate. And maybe things like legal situations will be put forward, but nothing will ever be contended, etc., etc., etc. And then people get bored. And nobody will talk about it again. If you issue a retort or you issue an apology, you start the fire all over again. And that isn't me giving advice. Like, if I ever did anything wrong, I would like to think that I would come forward and be open and honest about it, but that's because I have a moral fucking backbone. But when I'm talking about like the way that the industry works and the way that like the psychosocial studies that have been done on society work and stuff like that, 3 weeks. You need to survive 3 weeks. 3 weeks to a month before people stop really giving a shit because something else is more interesting has come along. You'll still get the occasional person that's really, really passionate about it, but generally speaking, they have to keep sensationalizing it in order to keep people interested. And if you just keep it quiet or just carry on with your life, then you just don't have to fucking worry about it. Unfortunately, there is plenty of evidence of this happening time and time and time and time and time again. Yeah, pretty fucked. Pretty fucked. But calling me a sinner wouldn't make me feel too bad. I'm glad to hear it, Claudia says. That's because we're all sinners here. Sinners in the most ethical way. How about that? You know? Ignorance is bliss. But only for the one who is ignorant. Yep, it's true. It's true indeed. But look at the quote. There's more about knowing about things going on around oneself to make one realize that the world is on fire. It's true. So it's either the person or wing it. Again, thank you for saying that. My longest friends with benefits ears haven't been ringing enough for today. Already good thing that I'm going to think about him for the next hour. That's fair. Enjoy. Enjoy your time pondering the carnal delights, you know. Right, let me whip down a wee bit because I am way back. Welcome back, Jamjar. One of my favorite books is called Jesuit, by a Jesuit. It's called Killing from Inside Out. Where he traces the origins of just warfare doctrine and basically proves that it was a political intervention. And then he traces all of the disastrous after effects. He's a pacifist. It's great. Sounds very interesting. Does indeed sound very interesting. And being someone's emergency contact is great as well. Many do not have a safe call in case of the wrong information gets passed to accidentally unsafe people. Agreed. Completely and utterly. So I don't flirt on the internet as all. I always flirt on the internet. There is plenty of clips of me flirting on the internet, and plenty of clips of you loving it. All of you cheeky little devils. You know? Still here just eating. That's alright. That's okay. It's not a problem at all. You're welcome to your delightful food. Religion? Yeah, Jamja. Well, kind of. We're kind of talking about psychosocial dynamics, because the conversation for while you were away, the conversation started with the situation that happened in Berlin, and the way that is the way that a vile person used religion to justify homophobia, and then the conversation's kind of gone on since then. But I wouldn't say it's spiraled. I'm just saying it's gone on since then, you know. Even when the religion itself doesn't say anything about it in some cases. Oh yeah, Snow Denchi. The vast majority, nearly every single religion in the world, nearly, not all, but nearly every single religion in the world has do not kill as a tenet. And yet there's an awful lot of murder happening in the names of religion. You know. Just throwing it out there like a condom in an orgy. There's an awful lot of murder that happens in the name of religion, considering the fact that do not kill is one of the core tenets of most religions. You know. Consenting adult is also very telling, because even though one could be an adult without any doubt, 35 plus, if I do or even can consent is key, whether you have colourful language, you say. Quite subtle though in it, because nothing stuck out so far, at least not into my Viennese mind. What with life negating humour is around. No, that's alright. That's alright. I got it for you. Yeah, we always say consenting adults because it reinforces consent, and it reinforces people being over the age of 18, which is like a key thing whenever we are discussing sexual congress between people. You know what I mean? It also helps reinforce, like, for people that might struggle with certain social cues. Like, if I say when two people are having sex, somebody might immediately, their mind might jump to somebody under the age of 18, or it might jump to a non-consenting dynamic. And by, like, because we do have a lot of people in the community that some of which struggle with social cues, some of which struggle with language barriers and stuff like that. So by just being like consenting adults, it immediately says to everybody, regardless of who it is, that everyone's over the age of 18 when we're talking about this situation, and everyone's consenting when they're talking about the situation, you know? Just helps people understand. Do you have a drink, or is it just a persistent throat in the throat? It's just a persistent throat in the throat. I've consumed lots of H2O, and it's not changing anything. I can feel it. It's just a tickle right at the back of my my throat here. Enjoy these conversations, learn from a lot of them. Yeah. And I'm happy to have the conversations, but I also fully understand, like, why some streamers would be afraid of them, you know? Kate Kerrigan writes books about being a plastic Irish. So she has two Irish parents that moved to London, so she has an English accent but moved back to Ireland. Talks about the difficulties being Irish. Yeah, being an Irish and a daughter of two Irish people but without the Irish accent. Yeah. When I'm in Ireland, I have an Irish accent. That sort of chameleon dynamic, because my dad's Irish. He's always had an Irish twang to his accent. We used to go over 2 to 3 times a year. And when I start speaking to my cousins, when I start speaking to my aunts and uncles and stuff like that, having that Irish twang, I just naturally start falling into it. Takes maybe a day and a half for me to start speaking with more or less a full accent. Would appreciate how you're asking your dad for books to read up to. You'll have to remind me for you, but I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. I can certainly ask the question for sure. Out of curiosity, was the song Zombie by the Cranberries about the IRA? I honestly couldn't tell you, Desdemona. It would make sense if it was, but I honestly couldn't tell you. I'm not sure. King Henry II in 1169 began the first Anglo-Norman invasions and occupation of Ireland, leading to centuries of conflict over the Irish independence. Yes, that is true. But the whole Catholic versus Protestants thing started with Henry VIII. And people in charge were still trying to figure out how to exactly do Brexit for real. The whole UK Ireland, Northern Ireland border situation got me really worried. Honestly, I still can't believe the peace that could be maintained. For you, I'm surprised that Northern Ireland didn't go with Ireland. I'm surprised that Scotland stayed with England as well. But we'll see how the future plays out. Do you know what I mean? Try that mountain doesn't seem to pop out. Oh no! If you hover over it, there's usually like a little pop out symbol down in the bottom right hand corner, and it'll pop out. Want to be help in the way that I can by viewership, so I can keep this community going. I appreciate that, ladies Andrea or Zandria. I appreciate that. That's very kind. I think society has a ratcheting wrench. Sometimes it has to move backwards before it can drive the next turn forwards. That's not a bad analysis. I like that analysis. Hope the discussion also helps you process. I suppose it has a little bit, yeah. It has a little bit for sure. Midgard, how you doing? How's it going? Maybe 3 weeks is shorter than rehab. Yep. Yep. I was happy to hear Palentine's chants at London Trans Pride, but did think why not the Congo and Ukraine, etc. That's because of so from what I understand, and this isn't talking about my personal views on stuff like that, I am against genocide. I am against war. I am against, like, there's been a few times in my life where people have turned around and been like, are you with these people or these people? Are you with Israel or Palestine? And my immediate answer is, are they killing babies? If they're killing babies, I'm against them. If they're killing children, I'm against them. Now, I could go further into it and talk about the fact that I'm against genocide. I'm against mass genocide. I'm just against all those bits and pieces. But it's a very quick and easy way to get through to somebody, especially if they are like pro-oppressor, as it were, being like, they're killing children. If they're killing children, then I'm against them. In exactly the same way that the governments turn around and go, won't somebody think of the children? We need to protect the children by collecting everyone's data. And it's like, if they're going to use that against us, then I'm going to use it against bigotry. Do you know what I mean? And hate. Are they killing children? Wait a minute. Are you telling me that you are in favor of children dying? Is that what you're... No, you're not. Okay. So you do disagree with killing children. Oh, right. Cool. We're on the same page then. Do you know what I mean? It's very, very quick and easy to get straight through to somebody in that regard. So I encourage you, if you're ever in a situation where someone turns around and goes, this, that, or the other, then always go with the are they killing children? Oh, Caro, absolutely. Yeah, you said it was your birthday. Was it your birthday today? Was it your birthday today? Or was it like over the weekend? Thank you very much, mods, by the way. Mods highlighted it for me. Absolutely. I disagree with killing in general. Also, hello. Oh, most of it, I completely not agree. But it's easier for human beings to justify killing if it's adults. It's not easy for them to justify killing babies. Which is why I always go for the babies first. I was like, are they killing babies? Then I'm against them. And it's like, whoa, okay, what? It immediately makes them step back and go, oh shit. I didn't think about that. Generally speaking, I am also against killing. I'm against war. I would like to think in 2026 that people could fucking discuss this shit out, but you know, it is what it is. Today, no worries, Kara, you beautiful individual. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Caro. Happy birthday to you. Oh my lordy. Happy birthday, Cara, you beautiful individual. I hope you had a most amazing weekend, you cheeky devil, and you did something that just spoiled you a little bit. A little bit more than you normally would. You know what I mean? How's it going, Safi Pie? How you doing, you beautiful bean? Can I get a shout out for Safi Pie, please? I would appreciate that. It's made all of my little stubble tingle. Lovely vowel movement. Thanks, DJ Localhost. I appreciate that. Lots of oohs going on there. How's it going, Nibbering, you beautiful individual? Just chat a wee bit. Got it. So basically, it's a rainbow press. But due to the digital media, the whole life cycle is done in 3 weeks instead of 4 to 6 months. Same old, same old. Yeah, basically, yeah. People are so obsessed with, like, today's society is so obsessed with instant gratification. Like, a perfect example of that, actually, was when I worked in a pharmaceutical company. So I used to work for a big pharmaceutical company who made, like, off-the-shelf medicine. So, like, cold and flu meds, stuff like Lemsip. I've got a Lemsip here because I was feeling lurgified the other day. But the equivalent of that, you know, like, over-the-counter kind of medication. And I worked as an auditor, and I remember talking to one of the heads of engineering, and they said, because they'd had some graduates in, which are people who have just left university, they've just graduated with a degree, and they go into placement in a facility, in a factory, what have you. I was talking to this head of engineering, and he was like, I was asking where the graduate was. I was like, oh, what happened to the graduate that happened? I haven't seen him in a couple of days. Is he all right? Is he off anything? He's like, oh, no, he left. And I was like, he left already? And I was like, no, what did you do? And he was like, no, he left. And I was like, why? And he was like, because he felt he wasn't making enough of a difference. So he decided to go and pursue something else. And I went, what do you mean enough of a difference? And he went, Val, this is a recurring thing with graduates. They all come out of university and they think they are going to make massive changes in the industry and the business within 6 months. And when they don't make some massive change that is all theirs, they haven't revolutionized the way that the entire industry works within 6 months to a year, they feel like they have failed miserably at life, and they go on to do something completely different. It is a thing that happens year after year after year after year. And I was like, really? And he was like, yep. Because the world thinks that, like, the world is teaching these young people that not only can they make a difference, but they should be able to make a massive difference within a year. And if they haven't, then they've failed. And when I think about, like, TikTok, and I think about the instant gratification of just constantly scrolling, and the way that people are making it big, the way that I've made it big, the way that I personally have grown on social media and stuff like that, and the dopamine that I got from that, and the way that I rode that dopamine for weeks, for months, and kept doing these bits and pieces, and then, like, now I'm far more relaxed about it. And I have to be relaxed about it, because if I wasn't relaxed about it, I remember the stress. The part of the reason why I'm so exhausted at the moment is because of the months of stress of hitting it big on social media, going from like 80,000 followers to 180,000 followers across all platforms was like fucking hell. And those 80,000 followers were all on TikTok. Do you know what I mean? It's just a different fucking kettle of fish. And I was like, actually, I spent weeks, months going through every single comment and responding to as many as I possibly can. And Mr. Celebrity, fucking don't even. I was recognized quite a lot during Pride and in like some of the events afterwards, and people were like, hey, excuse me, are you Valen Vane? Can we have a photo? And I was like, yeah, sure, that absolutely, but this is weird. Like, I am well up for photos. If people want to come have photos with me, absolutely, that is, I'm more than happy to take photos with people. That is grand. But I will feel a bit weird about it. I will be like, this is strange. This is unusual. Anyway, yeah, like going from that, like for my own mental health, just purely because of the amount of time that I would spend going through and reading every single comment to every single video and liking every single comment, and then going to, I mean, I literally post on every single day. I post on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, Blue Skies, and YouTube Shorts. Every single day I post on 6 different platforms. It's exactly the same video, but that's 6 different platforms of comments and interactions. And I love the comments and interactions, because the comments and interactions really help me like push and get to the next level and do all the bits and pieces. But when I was looking at 600 plus notifications a day, 600 plus comments a day, I'm like, that is impossible for me to do all of the things I have to do in regards to streaming and the events and the cabaret stuff. I can't do all of those things and sit down and respond to 600 comments a day. I can't do that. Do you know what I mean? It's not possible. So I've had to back off a little bit, and I read as many as I can when I have like a spare half an hour or an hour or what have you, or I set some time aside in the diary to go through all of them and stuff. But it's just not possible to get to every single one of them, because until I can employ somebody to read them and bring me the important ones, do you know what I mean? Which I don't think is going to happen, so I'm going to have to do it myself. But you know, it's just purely the logistics of it. You know, some people have got that as their only job. Their only job is like TikTok, or their only job is Instagram, or their only job is Facebook, you know? And it's like, if that's the case, fucking A, that's grand. That is a full-time job, creating the content and going through and responding to all of the thingies. If that was my only job, that wouldn't be a problem. But doing all of that, as well as the streaming, as well as the cabaret stuff, as well as the event organizing, and all that, that's where the problem lies, you know? Worked in passport services for nearly a decade, starting during Obama, Trump, and left during Biden administration. Was overseas citizen support, so I handled calls to where US citizens needed to get help getting out of countries they were stuck in. It was 24/7 a week and 365 days a year, so that stuff haunts me. Jesus Christ, yeah, I can understand that, ladies, Andrea. I can understand that entirely. You know, history repeats itself over and over. It certainly does. But though it does repeat itself over and over, it still rolls forward. It's still pushing forward in the right direction, in my personal opinion. You know, like the younger generation are far more open-minded. Though media would have you believe otherwise, the younger generation, generally speaking, are far more open-minded and understanding and invested in politics. And where the world is going to go and where it's going to be in 10 years' time, 20 years' time, you know? What was that about Carnal Lights? I was summoned. I was just encouraging indulgence within them, racy novel, you know. Problem with living in the past in Australia, there's a pushback to the 50s. Yep, but it will roll back around again, and there will be a period of progression, Midgard. There will be a period of progression. It will push forward, and there will be a push to a more understanding and acceptable thingy. And then after that push to the more understanding and acceptable, it will revert back to conservative, and then it'll go, the cycle will go round again, you know? The cycle only took like 50, 60 years, and then people still act like it's knowledge public. Well, you've got to remember that this is the first generation where very, very few living people remember the effect and the after effect of World War II. This is the first like living generation where very few people actively remember the after effects of all the rationing and what have you of World War II. In fact, the current older generation are the people that got all of the benefits from World War II. And when I say benefits, I mean like cheaper housing prices, better jobs, because people needed to fulfill bits and pieces. There was an awful lot of people that died during the World Wars, so there was a lot of job vacancies available. They literally were able to leave school and walk straight into a job. You know, they missed all of the rationing, but they got all of the benefits of the after effects of like housing prices and shit like that. People were able to buy a house for 13 grand, and it would take them 10 years to pay it off, and they'd pay it off in 10 years. You could support a wife and 2 kids off one person's salary, you know. And now we're in the later part of that, where actually that has really badly affected the rest of us, because the vast majority of our generation can't afford a fucking house. Never mind raise a family on one fucking paycheck, you know. Never mind, and that's my generation, never mind the younger generations. So it's like, yeah, I'm not surprised that we are having a hark back to conservatism, because the older generation want to hold on to all of the things that they've got, not realizing how brutally it punishes the younger generation. And it goes round, and it goes round, and it goes round. Because by the time the younger generation get old enough, though the older generation have passed on for the majority of them, the younger generation are progressive. The progressiveness works, cycle repeats. You know? It tends to be the way these things work. If you look throughout history, there's always cycles. Always cycles. Related to friends with benefits, how does one go about getting friends like that? Or like, how would one start a conversation with friends you already have without breaking the friendship? Savo of Lesvos. It depends. There are places like, I mean, obviously there's like dating websites like Tinder and shit like that. Tinder has a non-monogamous section, and it has a short-term section. There are places like Feeld, which is Feeld, which is another app that is a lot more open-minded to the idea of friends with benefits and polyamorous dynamics and swingers and stuff like that. So there's those kinds of apps. But if you've got a friend that you would like to potentially be friends with benefits with, and it's not going to cause any complications within the friendship and what have you, I'd just be open to it. I mean, me personally, I'd be open and honest about it and be like, hey, we're good mates. We flirt all the time. Do you want to fuck sometime? I feel like I can trust you not to make this weird. And if it's a no, then it's a no, not a problem. We'll just go back to the way we were. But without getting it fucking weird, do you want to, you know, scratch that itch of each other? That's how I'd do it, personally. But then I am also very, very blunt in so very, very many ways. You know? The reason why I'm blunt, by the way, friends, is because I like to know where I stand. I like to know where I stand in every situation. I'm like, what is this situation? Where do I stand in it? And if I don't know where I stand, then I'll just ask. I'll be like, hey, I'm a little confused as to where I stand in this situation. Enlighten me. How do you feel about this situation? How do you feel about me? Let us align our thoughts and feelings on the matter. And if they don't align, then we can talk about alternatives where we don't fucking ruin a friendship. You know? Because I'd much rather have a friendship than a fuck buddy. Me, personally. So we're talking about something else. There's public opinion too. I guess there's good old, and the good old times are so much better. The good old times are definitely never so much better. It's just people, older generations don't understand the new times, and therefore they go, oh, the good old times are so much better, because that's where their nostalgia is. Psychology has already proved this. Psychology has already proved this. The good old times don't exist. They are just laced with nostalgia. And because they are laced with nostalgia, everything else pales in comparison. Can you do the Irish shit when you, when you hit your pinky toe? If I was around enough Irish people for long enough, yeah. Like a shite. Fucking shite. Seriously? What you talking about, you? Yeah. Can work with that, for sure. Tint of ginger, you still here, you beautiful bean? Given the right conditions, reason why, yes, yeah. Zombie was about young victims of a bombing in Warrington, England during the Troubles in Northern Ireland. There you go, little kitty. Thank you very much for giving us that information. I remember you already wrote a note to remembering. There you go. There you go. Population of Northern Ireland is finally over 50% Catholic. Any actual referendum will be super interesting. Ooh, that will be interesting. Tin of Ginge, 12 minutes ago you redeemed a cheeky kiss. Come here, cheeky devil. What do you like claiming cheeky kisses, you cheeky devil, you? Good lord. There you go. Thank you very much, Jam. Yeah, absolutely. Boy George has just released a pro-Israel record on some of the best friends Jewish defense. Jesus wept. Wow. That surprises me. That surprises me about Boy George, but as I am learning, there are sides to people that you can never fully see. Good way to angle it. Killing adults is seen as in defense. Killing babies can never be in an defense. Exactly. Exactly. Aristastico, excuse me. Aristastico. Good lord. One of these days I will be able to read. But yeah, that's the reason why I immediately go in with the do they kill babies? Are you pro-Israel or pro-Palestine? Do they kill babies? If they kill babies, I'm against them. I'm against anyone who kills babies. Done. Just on my 42nd, and my twin called it a womb escape day. The one that I like, Ladies Andrea, or Ladies Zendria, excuse me. Is it not Zendria? Zendra. Zendra? I'll learn how to pronounce your name eventually. Is my friend once called it, adverts, you're not even hearing what I'm saying. I'll repeat it in a moment. Last ooh reminded me of Matt Ryan of Constantine for some reason. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, happy birthday singing actually makes me look forward to when it gets to my birthday time, asking for a birthday song. There you go, Loki. That's what it's all about. How you doing, Mayo Wi-Fi? How you doing, you beautiful bean? My advice to surviving in big business: the machine will crush you if you let it. Absolutely. My advice for surviving in big business is don't be self-employed. It's fucking harder, absolutely, but you know, is what it is. Spent years plugging away. Even when you dipped on some platforms, you still kept things going. Yeah, you have to, unfortunately, Jam. The grind, as they call it, is the only thing I've actually ever grinded on. But you know, can you sign here, please, Mister? Can I get an autograph? Fucking hell. That wouldn't be the first time I've been asked for an autograph. That's the worst thing. That's the worst thing. Because people have asked me to sign shit before. And that's, yeah, weird. Funny when I think about it, but also pretty weird. Tigger, come here, cheeky devil. What do you like claiming cheeky kisses, you cheeky individual, you? Good lord. Earlier, my 76-year-old aunt heard me listening to this and got all excited because she's seen your videos on Facebook and recognized your voice. No way, Loki. That's so cool. Oh, bless them. Well, tell your 76-year-old aunt that I hope that they're doing very, very well. I hope they're having a wonderful, wonderful time, whatever it is that they're up to. And I am glad that they look after you in a joyous and wonderful dynamic. Our Loki the Khajiit. You know? There's been concern about toxic male stuff, of course. Yes, but that's a bigger issue, Hewin. There is... I can't go into it today because it's a very big topic. But I am happy to go into that topic at some other point. Because... I mean, there's part of it is the issue is the fact that the toxic male stuff is very loud. And because it's loud, everyone talks about it. And part of it is down to the fact that there is a... There is a very interesting psychological balance that goes on with masculinity in developing years. And unfortunately, the toxic males are the ones that predate on that. Because they appear to be strong and dependent, even though they definitely fucking aren't. I know you stopped saying, could you open a setting for me? I can certainly open a setting for you. Yes, Semba. I can. What setting do you need? Darling moderator.
Yeah, you subscribed. Most kind.
Oh, okay. 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 I've done it. That's encouraging to hear. Yeah, the if you actually look at like the general overview of like young people, the vast majority of them are very much more open-minded and much more involved in politics. If you look at like the polls and stuff like that, again, not going into politics itself, just talking about the psychology of the youth, it's very, very, very left-wing. It's very heavily leaning left-wing. It's despite all of the toxic masculine shit that's going on out there. So yeah, it's the whole thing. You got blocked by it earlier as well, Safi. Do you try and raid me as well? Yeah, I like to stop raids in like the last hour because I like people to get a good view of shit. Anyway, Max, thank you very much for giving that 3 months of tier 1 sub to Sembar Flay. Also, thank you very much to Lunicorn for redeeming Praise the Mods. I wonder if we'll get a raid soon. I don't know. The raid forecast is bleak. If we do get a raid, it'll be such a surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, all genders outside in between, can you please throw out some mod loves in the channel? Say a massive thank you to those wonderful moderators. You can use any kind of mod loves from any kind of mods, from any kind of channel, excuse me. You can use any kind of love hearts from any kind of channel. We will accept all of the love for our wonderful moderators. Zenbar Flay, I've inscribed your name upon the mirror vein, courtesy of the beautiful Max Wattage. By having your name upon the mirror vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not about Snapchat, you cheeky devil, and of course you get access to all the sexy little emotes, but the most important thing is you'll roll over every morning, look in the mirror and go, God, do I look rough? But God damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy, oh yes, meow, you know? You know? Thank you very much for thanking the mods, friends. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. Friends with benefits is how you got your husband. Yeah. Funny how life works. Absolutely. Absolutely. God damn it, Lux.
Before you out it down.
It's too late. It is already outed down. It is already outed down, Lux. For 6 months in advance? 6 months? What is going on? What is happening? I mean, take advantage of the discount if you can.
I want to break free. I want to break free.
No, seriously, these bangles of friendship are starting to chafe. Choices were made by that little fox then. Choices were made, ladies and gentlemen, all gents outside between. Delve deep into your pits of popcorn and throw them at the raiders. Throw them at these cheeky devils. Look at these people going in here. I mean, really, could you even imagine who do they think they are? The absolute audacity, the scandal, the preposterousness, the outrage, I tell you. How very dare you. Also, Milky Pog, thank you very much for the 404.
Oh, you followed me. Ooh, you little stalker.
Thank you very much for the follow, you beautiful human being. I don't like to call people out just in case they're lurking, but you are very, 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 very welcome here, you beautiful individual. Semba, you glorious being. Thank you very much for bringing your people over here. What a surprise. What an amazing surprise. You're bringing all of your wonderful people here to my community out of nowhere. What's that all about? People go check out my dear friend and darling moderator, Semba Flay. Doing some Spiritfarer, fantastic game. Absolutely phenomenal game. Love that game. So beautiful, heartfelt, quite grief-inducing, but genuinely exquisite. Absolutely fucking exquisite. You closed the door on me. Super rude. Couldn't even leave the attic with my friends. No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. I was doing it on purpose. But then I decided to have a good turn of heart. All right, answer your DMs. To answer your DMs, you don't have 5 minutes. The reason why, Semba, is because when I pressed go live at the beginning of stream, my OBS went, no, you need to change all of your video encoders for streaming and recording, and also audio. All of your audio is fucked up. So I was having a bit of a panic. I managed to sort it, kind of, but I'm now going to be spending the rest of the week rearranging everything. Because it turns out that the way to get it from the video encoders to work was to turn it from advanced mode to simple mode. Nothing else changed. 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 Also, Lunagon, thank you very much for gifting me a sub to Sembar Flay. That is unbelievably kind of you. I've seen that just pop up now. And also Scar coming in for the 2 months. The corruption is settling in nicely. Also, darling moderators, could we please get a shout out for Lelling, please? I would really appreciate that. I would really appreciate that. Scar, I shall now inscribe your name on the mirror vein. By having your name upon the mirror vein means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil. Also being a paid subscriber, taking us that one step closer to the 70-30 split. You beautiful individual. I have inscribed your name upon the mirror vein. By having your name upon the mirror vein means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not a bum Snapchat. You also get access to all the sexy little emotes and a discount on the merchandise. I keep forgetting. The discount on the merchandise, you beautiful, beautiful bean. But the most important thing is you got to roll over every morning, look in the mirror and go, God, do I look rough? But goddamn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, harra, sexy. Oh, yes, meow, you know? Also, people go check out the darling Lelling. Lelling is also a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful human being who we love very, very dearly. Very much into their Guild Wars shenanigans. Guild Wars 2? Guild Wars 2? Guild Wars 2. And they are great. They're just a wonderful, wonderful being. I was hanging out there yesterday. I want to say last night when they were playing Don't Starve Together with a couple of friends of theirs. And I very much enjoyed it. So you should go do them as well. So go and check out Sembar. Sembar's a wonderful human being. They're
Panda to my ego. Panda to it. Panda to it.
The old lurk and slurp.
That's what I call oral. Thank you very much for the 100 little panderings, Wolfex. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh, god damn it. What was the saying? Can't remember. Oh yeah, go check out Sembar. Sembar is a wonderful human being, one of my very, very, very close friends. Usually plays some either strategy games or very wholesome story games. A very nice place to hang out to, and yeah, just very, very wholesome and enjoyable. Lelling, as I said, does a lot of Guild Wars, also does some community games with friends of theirs, like Don't Starve Together, and occasionally you'll find them playing something really fucking weird.
Most kind.
Caro, it's your birthday. You're not meant to be gifting subs here, all right? Just because there's a bloody brat train in here does not mean you should be spending your money on your birthday. Good lord. Good lord. But thank you very much for gifting that sub to the community. I appreciate that. I will inscribe their name upon the mirror of Vane. After your videos about lust the other day, and that little reaction, is someone feeling poorly? Oh yeah. What, feeling full of lurging? Maybe. I've got a little bit tickle of the throat. Maybe that's adding to it. Do you know what I mean? I was given some pennies and you chose to use them here. You chose to use your birthday pennies here, Caro. That is extremely kind of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. I will inscribe their name upon the mirror of Vane. They're normally in chat, but I haven't seen them in chat today, so I won't call them out. By having the name upon the mirror of Vane, it means to get access to my personal Snapchat, not a bum Snapchat, cheeky devils, and of course you get access to all the sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you go roll over every morning, look in the mirror and go, God, do I look rough? But goddamn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy, oh yes, meow, you know? Let's get rid of Monty there. Yeah, so for those people that are not aware, like we have a button in our dashboard that we can add, which basically stops raids from happening for an hour, which means that nobody, like Sembar very kindly bringing and sharing their community over here, they can't raid us. I always turn it off, usually somewhere between half an hour to an hour before I'm expecting to finish stream. Sometimes I go over it, sometimes I'm a little bit under it, but just because if people are bringing, if somebody like Sembar is kind enough to bring their wonderful community in here to say hi to us, get to know all of you, get to know me, then I want to give them like a good worthwhile amount of time. Do you know what I mean? So I do tend to turn it off just at the very end. Oh, Caro, you cheeky little devil, you. I see what you did there. I love that endorsement. Occasionally I do play something really fucking weird. Indeed, it's true. It's true. All right, Lelling. Like you play Guild Wars 2. You play some stuff with friends, like community games and bits and pieces together, and it's always very wholesome, very loving, a wonderful environment to be around. Your community is always fantastic. Would love to hang out there and what have you. And then occasionally I pop in and you're playing something really fucking weird. Just really fucking weird. All right. I never get to raid you, so I just wanted to ignore it. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. Sembar. God damn it. Oh, good lord. Friends, while I've got all of you here, I want to remind everybody that we do our normal streams Monday night, Tuesday daytime, Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon. Okay, that's our normal ones this week. On top of that, we have some extra streams this week. On Friday night at 7 p.m. BST, I will be reading The Call of Cthulhu. One of the people have brought up the donation goals. One of the donation goals that you have requested is Call of Cthulhu, an audio book reading where I will mute the alerts. We'll get some atmosphere going on. It'll be pretty. We'll do some bits and pieces. You know, it should be good. All the same, that's the plan on Friday, 7 p.m. BST. And then on Saturday, 7 p.m. BST, there will be my Labyrinth stream where we are doing... I got a beautiful book, which is back here. There. The Labyrinth roleplay book. I thought it was a choose your own adventure. It turns out it isn't a choose your own adventure. I was meant to do it on Friday. Oh, no, I was meant to do it last night, but because of me pushing far too fucking hard, I was really, really tired, and I was afraid that if I keep pushing the way I am pushing, there is a good chance that I will burn the fuck out. So I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to take the night off. I'm going to watch some shitty anime. I'm going to do a little bit of work, but like nothing taxing. Do you know what I mean? Just little bits and pieces. And here we are. So just some extra ones. They are both donation goal rewards. Every single time we hit a donation goal, we have a donation goal reward as a way for me to say thank you to it. And the one at the end of this one looks like it's going to be another Labyrinth roleplay stream. I think I can do 5 Labyrinth roleplay streams in total. We did one the other day that went fucking amazingly well. We'll do one on Saturday, and then if this one gets hit, then we'll do more. We'll do more. But there's no pressure, and there's no expectation, and there's no rush. Do you know what I mean? All right, let me whip down a wee bit, because now the conversation seems to have moved on. Maybe for a question of the day, but we haven't figured out if Squirt is P. We haven't figured it out yet, Qualia. I've got all of the articles currently up and ready to read, but I haven't read them yet. I'm afraid. I will get round to them though, because mainly because of the fact that I'm genuinely fascinated by the concept.
Yeah, you subscribed. You know?
Classic Chunk, you beautiful bean.
Yup.
Hey, yup. Also, friends, we had the fucking hype train there. A level 2, 78% hype train. If you have got hype train emotes, could you please throw them out now? Say a massive thank you to all those people that subbed, that gifted subbed, that threw all those bitties out there. That's super fucking kind of you, friends. It's right near the end of the month, before payday. None of you should have any money. None of you should be doing this. But it's extremely kind of you that you choose to. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. How's it going, Classic Chunk? Can I get a shout out for Classic Chunk, please? I would really appreciate that. I also now inscribe your name upon the mirror vein for the 84th time. Jesus Christ. Jeezy greasy. How was your gaming sesh with your friends, Chunk? People go check out Classic Chunk. I literally spent all morning watching Classic Chunk play this diggy dopamine mining game. It was very fun. It was very chill. It was a lot of entertainment. I just fucking love it. As much as Chunk is also my housemate and a very good friend of mine, I also love hanging out in his streams. So if Chunk is ever live, you'll often find me hanging out there. Just come and enjoy the environment. That's what we do. Come hang out at Chunk's place. Do you know what I mean? Chunk, I have inscribed your name upon the mirror vein. By having your name upon the mirror vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil, even though you've... Like, do you know what? I'm surprised you haven't seen me walk around naked. I've definitely walked around this house naked many times. Many times. You've just been avoiding me. I understand how it is. But the most important thing is you gotta roll over every morning, look in the mirror and go, God, do I look rough? But God damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy. Oh, yes, meow, you know? Seen your butt, but never full frontal. My spindly goblin cock. I think you have seen my spindly goblin cock, but due to the terror, the sheer, unrequited, carnal terror that you felt upon seeing it, you have permanently blanked it from your own memory. I think that's what's occurred there, you know? That's what happens when someone beholds the spindly goblin cock, okay? You know? Yeah, so we didn't find out whether Squirt was P. Oh, I haven't done yet. I've got all of the articles ready to open and read. I just haven't had the time. Haven't had the time to read them, unfortunately, but I will do because, like I said, I am personally fascinated by it. Zeandra, okay, like Cassandra, but with a Z. I also do accents. Zeandra, absolutely. I will do my absolute best to remember that. If it's any consolation, I'd only expect you to sign a birthday card. If that. It's still just Valen Vein to me. Good. That's the way I should be. I had 4 people actively come up to me and say, are you Valen Vein? On Saturday at Pride. I was walking back from the car with Rach and Lilia, and we were like just packing away our little cart and stuff like that. And somebody came over and was like, excuse me. And I was like, yes. And they were like, are you Valen Vein? I was like, yeah. And they were like, can I have a photo? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, 100%. I will never ever turn down a photo. Unless I'm in a rush somewhere, I will not turn down a photo. If somebody wants a photo, that's the least I can do, you know? And then apparently I didn't see many of them, but I had apparently a few people like pointing and being like, that's that guy from Instagram or that guy from TikTok or what have you. But I mean, I was oblivious to it. I was in my own little world. And then after we'd been to Swamplesque and seen the Shrek parody burlesque show, we went to a bar called Service Station to see my friend's band, or the end of their set, should I say. And I went to go get a chair, and there was a couple there, and they were like, oh my God, are you Valen Vein? I was like, yes. and they were like, oh my god, that's great. And they got up and they came and had photos, which was absolutely fantastic. And then there was a lady at the bar who walked by me a couple of times, and then she was like, I just walked by a couple of times because I wanted to check whether it was actually you or not, but you're Val Vane. And I was like, yeah, I am. Yeah, cool. And we had a good chat. We had a good night and stuff like that. Continue watching the band, and then was like, right, okay, I'm leaving now. Going now. And then one of the ladies was like, are you going to Spiders? And we were like, no, going to sleep. Sleep time. I have been up for far too fucking long, off far too little sleep. I'm going to sleep. Sleep. But yeah, it was interesting. That's probably the most amount of people that have recognized me out in the wild, you know? But maybe one day I'll get used to it. Do you know what I mean? How is Lily? Lily is busy. She's a very, very busy lady. In fact, I will be around the reason why I'm not streaming on Thursday is because Lily is running an IRL Vampire the Masquerade game for me and some friends. Myself, Rach, who is in the community, and then two of our friends that aren't in the community. So that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be good. But yeah, she's doing all right. She's doing fantastically. She's a mother now, and little one's just over 1. So yeah, she's doing all right. She's doing all right, Karma. Thank you very much for asking. I appreciate that. I will pass on your good loves. Your good loves. I went out to the garden with my daughter while I'm keeping an eye on my uncle. I'm in the caregiver role as he's not doing well. I got you, Loki. I got you. Also, Safi Pie, if you're still here, I appreciate you thinking of me when you were looking into raid. I very much appreciate that. That's very, very kind of you. Even if I do deny it all, I do appreciate it. All the same. All the same. Parasonia, how you doing? How's it going? Mine is a hydrate, take your meds, and have a snack. I have run out of water. I have had a bottle and a glass of water. I've drunk a lot of water. But, you know. How you doing, Finley? How's it going? Can I get a shout out for Finley's short stuff, please, as well, please? Wonderful, wonderful people coming in here. Noraline, welcome on in. How you doing? My OBS did the same thing. Silver Haze has been a pain in the hoop. People go check out Finley. Finley is one of the most craftiest individuals you've ever seen. Also plays a large variety of delightful fantasy games. A wonderful, wonderful member of the stream team I am a part of, and a very good friend as well. A very, very good friend. So go and check them out. They're wonderful. You've played Spiritfarer twice. I've cried a lot both times. 10 out of 10 game. I played most of Spiritfarer. Because I got frustrated with how much crafting there was. I was like, I don't care about the crafting. Give me the juicy, juicy lore. Just the juicy lore. Come now. Then we were deafened at the start of stream. Oh, no. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Phoenix Defense, because all of my audio was set to maximum and none of my levers were working. So everyone just got full blasted in the ears with music. You know? Yeah, no. That's good. Salt is good for some. Give us the salt. Ooh, naughty. What salt are we doing? What salty goodness am I giving you here? First time playing Spiritfarer, spoiler free. Was a busy day today. We said goodbye to 3 people and I cared about 2 of them. Oh, Sembar. Sending all love. If you need to like take a step away, send and just like have a cup of tea and sit with your thoughts for a minute. I fully understand, you beautiful being. Fully understand. Glad you enjoyed the Don't Starve Together. It really does bring out the worst in me. Yeah, it does, Lilling. But I think that's why I enjoy it so much. I think that's why I enjoy your cavalcade and dalliances into the land of not starving, you know. Being life to work while doing that. That is true. That is very, very true. And that's on the internet forever. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Absolutely. And that, Raiders, is why I said 18 plus. That is so true. I have to do a video about lust the other day. Yeah. I mean, I'm always a relatively lustful individual, I think. Do you know what? I've been less lustful recently, but I think that's just because I'm so tired. Just because I've just been pushing myself very, very hard. Not harder than usual, just very, very hard. trying to keep up with stuff. But I'm doing quite well at recalibrating my life to be more paced, should we say, as opposed to going 200% all of the time. And just being a bit more paced with it. Do you know what I mean? Patsy Bowers, how you doing? How's it going, you beautiful bean? I'm doing all right, thank you very much. Doing okay. I've had some mixed emotions over the weekend because I had the absolute joys of Pride in my hometown. And then we were discussing a little bit earlier on about the incident that happened in, or the tragic attack, should I say, that happened in Berlin. So yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but we've had some very, very good conversations today. Some very intricate, very deep, very convoluted conversations about society and sociology and psychology and the dynamics of power and influence and realms of the position of hate within them. And stuff like that. It's been a very, very mind-melty set of discussions today, but I think we're all a little bit better for it, to be honest with you. I think we're all a little bit better for it, for sure. What was that one game about dead gods and weird visuals? Dread Delusion. That sounds like my kind of thing. For sure. Any wigs happening? Not yet, Caro. However, I have got a confession to make, and you've just reminded me about that, Caro. So, for those people that don't know, when we do the Labyrinth stream, the Labyrinth roleplay streams, I cosplay as Jareth. I ordered a wig. It was fucking shite. Sent it back. If you've seen any of my other social media, you will know how bad that wig is. It is awful. However, I did order. I got funded. I put like a good quality Jareth wig on my throne wish list, and that got funded. And I did order it, but about an hour after I actually placed that order, and it was coming over from America, so it was already coming a far way anyway. About an hour after I placed that order, I got an email from a professional wig maker who does like wigs for movies and stuff like that. Oh, Mira Jade, unfortunately you've put a full stop in the wrong position there, so the bot thought it was a link. It wasn't a link. I can see what you said. The wig needed to go far, far away. Yes, it bloody well did. Nothing on you. That's just the bot being far too overreactive, you beautiful being. We appreciate you all the same. We appreciate you all the same. So yeah, the throne wishlist wig got funded. I ordered it. I then got an email from a professional wig maker, and then I cancelled the original order so that I'm not getting the wig. I need to email the professional wig maker tomorrow. They do not live in the UK. They live over in Canada. But after seeing the terrible, terrible wig and seeing my wonderful cosplay, they said they would be prepared to make me a professional grade, like a professional movie grade Jareth wig if I was interested. I'd still have to pay. I'd still have to contribute money towards it for like materials and postage and all the bits and pieces. But they would be up for that. They would be up for that. I need to talk to them about it. I need to talk about how it's going to work and what they need from me and stuff like that. But that's quite exciting. I'm not into cosplay, but you know you're good when. I mean, yeah, it was a very interesting one. They were just like, because they basically said, very, very nice individual, very appreciative of them. They said that they normally watch my stuff, like they've been following me for a little while, and they don't normally say anything. But after seeing the terrible wig, they couldn't not say something. And then I saw their stuff and I was like, fuck me, you are amazing. You are such a phenomenally talented wigmeister. And they were like, thank you very much. That's very, very kind. Well, we can talk about Jareth wig. And I was like, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, we can talk about that. That sounds good. I need to email them tomorrow. I need to remind myself to email them tomorrow. Because I didn't get a chance today, but yeah. Laninima Is that how you pronounce your name? Welcome on in. How you doing? I love that no raids got ignored. That way I found you also stream on Twitch. I followed you on the Instagram for a little while. No way. That's amazing. Thank you very much for coming over and saying hi. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Is it Lalinima or Laninima? I will eventually be able to pronounce everybody's name correctly, but you are very welcome here, beautiful being. Look at you taking care of yourself. Try my best. Sometimes. I've got to practice what I preach every so often, right? Got to practice what I preach every so often. Once a blue moon, you know. Bloody love Labyrinth Night. It was very cool. It worked so much better than I was expecting it to as well. I was expecting it to like be really clunky, but actually it works really, really well. And that's a lot of that credit goes down to the community just being amazing. You people just being fucking glorious, you know. You know. Some people get paid at the end of the month. Yeah, but not just yet, right? It's like in the next, like in the end of this week. It's 31st, right? Thereabouts. Thereabouts. Don't need the bum Snapchat. You can see it in person. You can with the way I walk around. It's too bloody hot to wear any clothing. You know, if I leave my fucking lip salve downstairs and like it's late at night and Chunk's in bed, I ain't putting any fucking clothes on. We call him Lanny. Okay, call him Lanny. Absolutely. She was with us for Don't Stop to Get Here. Oh, that was one of the wonderful voices I was listening to. Oh, Lanny. Thank you very much for lending your delicate tones to my ears while I was lurking away. I appreciate that. Just noticed the chat history goes back for like 1 hour. We replied to this. I mean, haven't replied yet. Looks like it's going to be permanent. So thank you for understanding due to tech stuff. Not that I don't want to. Oh, it's for you, you beautiful individual. It's just the conversation moved on, so I skipped. I skipped ahead. I skipped ahead. Do you know what I mean? Having your autograph in a photo is one of the favorite things. Oh fuck yeah, I forgot. Oh, Killer Queen Rach made me sign and kiss a load of little cards for giveaways at Ken. And you got one of those cards, Eris. I completely forgot about that. You could have exchanged that for a drink. And you decided to keep it. What? More fool you. More fool you. It's too hot to wear anything. Agreed. Completely agreed. Completely agreed. Lanny is fine. Just added that to my real life name. And I love how finding my perfect name. I love that. I love that, Lanny. Absolutely. Somebody called me by my real name over the weekend. Somebody I went to school with called out by my real name. And I had to take a moment being like, is that me? Because so like Chunk calls me Val. Everyone but my actual family and like a very small handful of friends call me Val. Everyone I hang around with day to day calls me Val. Lilia calls me Val. Everyone calls me Val. It's just one of those things. Like that is just the name I go by now, you know. And when it's weird when people who call me my real name or have always called me my real name call me Valen, and it's weird when people who always call me Val call me by my real name.
Oh, you like, followed me.
It's weird.
You little stalker.
Excuse me. This is weird. Why would you do that? It's also amazing how many people just straight up ask me what my real name is. Like a lot of the DMs I get, they're just like, "Hey, what's your real name?" None of your business. What a strange thing to ask, considering you don't fucking know me at all. What the fuck? What the ever loving fuck? When it comes to goes beyond scrolling, I consider it lost. Move on to something else. Yeah, I do my absolute best to try and keep up with chat the best I can, but it's so, sometimes it gets so fast that I just need to skip ahead and just be like, right, that is lost to the ether. If anyone remembers what it was, we can pick it back up again, you know. I congratulate on motherhood. Absolutely calm. I will happily pass that on. Do you know what I mean? Have you sunburned your scalp? Absolutely, Safi. Unfortunately, I have a real bad habit of wearing hairspray in order to keep my hair contained. Unfortunately, the downside to hairspray is it magnifies radiation. So my scalp is slightly red, as you can probably see, along the edge of my little hairline there. You know. How's it going, Kayla? Hello, you beautiful individual. Paul as well just got reminded of the Florida guy that avoided cops for 31 days inside a giant inflatable Lugia Pokemon. Oh, wow. Wow. That is impressive. That is impressive. 31 days? Fucking hell. I think it gets sweaty in there. You know? I think on my last on that line was how Val taught me words to replace because of the environment. Wouldn't believe it. I've completely lost the context, unfortunately. You finished I did finish Spiritfarer, Nibbering, but towards the end I absolutely had a heavy amount of input from chat, which doesn't normally happen because I'm normally very much against spoilers, but I got so fed up of not being able to find the materials that I wanted that I just got angry. And I also very specifically abandoned some people. I didn't send them through the gate because I didn't think they deserved to go through the gate. I was like, no, fuck you. You're shit. Not a chance. You don't get to go through the gate. I won't say who it was. Won't say what's going on because obviously Sembar's playing it for the first time. But yeah. Whole thing. Completely unrelated to everything, but you've been lovely to listen to while I'm working on paintings. Oh, Stefacino, thank you very much, you beautiful bean. I very much appreciate you saying that. I very, very much appreciate you saying that, you beautiful bean. And then since I was very little, I was taught to apologize for my existence, but never found words to replace them, because everyone will only say that it's submission or hatred, no other way. This stream taught me that the words that let me stop apologizing without the need of hate speech is against it. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you is a great way to stop apologizing. Stop saying, sorry I'm late. Say thanks for waiting. Stop saying, sorry I'm such a burden. Say thanks for being there for me. You know, it makes... Stop saying, sorry I'm always in the way. Say thanks for giving me space to be here. Replacing sorry with thanks is one of the most useful and positive things that you can do in your life. You know. Will you give that wig to Cardboard Valen or Crochet Valen? Oh no, I've sent it back, Elisana. Fuck that noise. Chunk's just chuckling behind because he remembers what it was like. Oh, I've sent it back. It was nothing like it was advertised to be, so I'm like, no, I'm sending that back. I'm getting my fucking money back. You know what I mean? Raven Moon, how you doing? Dude, I just found an old copy of this book. This I Remember by Eleanor Roosevelt from 1949. It has her signature on the front. Or it's printed onto the cover. I'm not sure which. Oh, wow. Cool. How very tantalizing. Just saw a pubs here for Zippy from Rainbow has passed. Oh, bless the little con socks. Much better wig sounds more amazing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely. Did wigging about 1,000 years ago. Yeah. I have looked after wigs. I've maintained wigs, but I've never like got into making them. It looks far too complicated. We will miss Jareth Turner. We will, Greta. We will indeed, for sure. You don't have to be into cosplay to love wigs. That is true. But also, like, it's a very, because of the style of wig that Jareth has, I can only wear it being Jareth. Do you know what I mean? I can't wear it doing anything else. I can only wear it being Jareth. If Valen is not an incarnation of the Goblin King, then no one is. I will happily take that. I will happily fucking take that for sure. There's a video stream of it, like, high quality. Actually kept up with the advantage of technology, but that was new stuff. For me personally, nice extra, not necessarily tech-wise. Still live in 2009. Yeah. Euro Papa, hello, you beautiful individual. Welcome back on in. How you doing? I'm surprised you're still streaming this late. Doing our best. You beautiful man. I am winding down though because I am very sleepy. I am very, very sleepy. But welcome back, you beautiful bean. How you doing? How's it going? How's life treating you? Qualia, you do also a good GM. Thank you very much. I've considered like running my own roleplay games in the past, but my issue is I don't have much time to sit and plan out a world. I would love I would genuinely love to run a Call of Cthulhu campaign where it was just completely based within the realms of like creeping horror. I would love to run an alien, you know, Alien Isolation, Xenomorphy stuff campaign. I think that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, those sort of like creeping horror ones are my cup of tea. And of course, maybe one day I will run a labyrinth style campaign. That one's a little bit easier because I understand the system. The system is so simple that I think that I could come up with a very, very good story with that relatively quickly and be able to run it. But if I was going to do it, like we'll do it as a community. We'll continue the role play with chat scenario. But if I was going to do it with like other streamers, then I would want to make it into like a proper show. We'll have like cutscenes and different frames and like character art for the different characters and shit like that, you know? You know what I mean? Because that's the kind of person I was. Sneaking away to bed. No worries, Jam Jam Brain. Enjoy your pile of crusty scum socks. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, beautiful bean. Some people get paid on the 25th. Oh my god. But then they should be saving all of that money for their mortgage and or rents and or bills. Not spending it on me, cheeky little devils. All right. Their famous Call of Cthulhu adventures, Murder on the Orient Express, is an excellent one, but there's still prep. Yeah, I would want to run my own, I think. I'd want to run my own. I'm too full of imagination to want to run it somebody else's. Like that, the thing that works about the Labyrinth campaign is there are very good examples of encounters on there. But overall, you can just use your imagination to it, so it works really, really well. But yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic. Very interesting dynamic, to say the least. Super fun and went very smoothly for you having to figure it out. Thank you very much, Loki. I appreciate that. Yeah, a lot of it was like, okay, how the fuck am I going to make this work? But we managed to do it. The hedge section is more complicated, but I think I've worked out how I can do it, you know. Fluffy Bunny Gal, are you a professional model? I was a professional model I was an alternative model. No, I was professional. Let's not worry about it. I was on the front covers of magazines and appeared in magazines and stuff for a few years. I still do modeling. In fact, I will be joining Robinson Crusoe, who is one of the best photographers I've ever worked with, for sure. On a modeling shoot in a couple of weeks' time. I will be going down there and we're going to do a shoot together, which this wonderful community have paid for, because Sway is a self-employed photographer and therefore deserves all of the fucking money. And then we will be rolling those shoots out to you, beautiful beans, somehow, some way. Maybe I'll put some on merch. Maybe I'll throw it onto social media. Maybe I'll stick some in the Discord. I don't know. We'll find out. Find out when it's done. Do you know what I mean? Gotta chuckle out the wig. I'm glad to hear it, Patsy. I'm glad that my suffering of the wig amused you. Because I got a free drink anyway, so why get rid of something fun when I get drinkies? That's fair. That is fair. Absolutely. Funny coincidence, because I too have a point. Oh, yeah. What should I say instead of sorry I made for wait? So thanks for waiting, but being submissive since I could walk sounded so condescending, as if I'm something better. It didn't sound like at first. Thanks for waiting isn't condescending, unless you make it condescending. Right? Thanks for waiting. Just thanks for waiting. I appreciate it. You know, government James jump scare. Absolutely. Absolutely. None your business? That's an odd name. Yes. Your real name is John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. How did you know, Eris? How did you know? Get confused when I'm called by my government name is that I don't know IRL. That's hilarious. None of your business is a very niche name. Yes, it's true. It's true. My name is Paul. Paul, none of your business. That's the one. Jingleheimer. Is that right? Jingleheimer? Yeah, near enough. One question, wouldn't the question for your birth name be quite common, small talk? If you just met somebody, I'm genuinely asking because the concept of small talk bewilders me. All the unspoken rules, same nonsense to me. Generally speaking, for you would not ask like a celebrity what their real name was. If somebody was like, if you met a stage presence, for example, if you met a burlesque dancer, you wouldn't be like, yeah, but what's your real name? Because you've got to remember that, especially when it comes to performers, and doubly especially when it comes to content creators, like, I've had some pretty terrifying interactions with parasocial people, with people who are if left to their own devices, could easily become stalkers, you know? When somebody sends you a Google image of your own house, purely because they think, well, if I'm ever in the neighborhood, then I can swing by and we can have a cup of tea together. It's like, okay, I don't want you having any details of me. The less you know about me, the better. You know? So, real name is private, exactly. Yeah. So in that regard, like, I would never give out my real name. I did a Google search a few months ago, and it had the wrong real name, but the fact that they even had the idea of a real name really unnerved me. I've stopped giving out my exact birthday because scammers are using my face to try and scam followers out of their money. So the less information they have about me, the better, you know. It's that kind of shit, you know. I thought we'd established your real name was Ralph. Oh my god, Rach. For those people that don't know, I did a job with Rach a while ago where I was doing some work filming. I was holding cameras. I was behind the camera for once in my life. And Rach went over to the producer and it was like, hey, how's it going? I'm Rach from Sakura and this is Valen. And because the atmosphere was so loud, she didn't hear Valen. So when the producer was introducing everybody else, it was like, hey, this is Rach from Sakura, and this is Ralph. And we were like, I'm going with it. Rach was like, Valen. I was like, nope, Ralph, there it is, Ralph. That's it. Ralph Phil Thwizzard. Exactly. Filthwer Izzard. That's right. Born 6th of the 9th, 1969. How did you know? You shouldn't be giving... Stop doxing me, Sembar. Stop doxing me. But yes, just for people that might not understand like social etiquettes, especially when it comes to content creator and stuff like that, generally speaking, don't be asking personal details. Personal details are private details. If somebody wants to share them with you, that is their choice and they should be offering it to you. Okay, no judgment if you are a person that struggles with like small talk, you struggle with like social etiquette and stuff like that. Absolutely, fully understand. We've got many people of many different neurodiversities here and what have you. No judgment at all. Just for your own education, that is something that you shouldn't be asking people. As far as everybody is concerned, including the 99% of my friends now, my name is Valen Vane. I will respond to Valen Vane. I will always acknowledge Valen Vane. I am Valen Vane. You know, the Valen Vane side of me is just as much a part of me, the real me, as my legal name side of me. You know, it's all exactly the same. I'm the same fucking person. I'm allowed to have different names to keep myself safe, you know? Oh, if it was fucking the fucking lying, what's his name, Giovanni, then I 100% agree. He was the first to go today, and it was leaving was a good cleanup of the ship. I can't remember if it was the lion that I left behind or somebody else. I do think. I did hate the lion. I will confess, I did hate the lion. but I can't remember whether it was the lion that I left behind or whether I don't think so. I think I actually took the lion to the gate. There was another character that really, really, really rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, fuck this guy. He can just stay. He can just fucking stay. Replace the S word with thanks makes a huge difference. Absolutely. Absolutely. The UK's foremost Jareth impersonator. Oh my god. The thing is, do you know what the wild thing is, Kayla? Do you know what the wild, and for all of you beautiful individuals, if they approach me and they were like, hey Val, we are remaking the Labyrinth, we'd like you to play Jareth, I'd say no. I'd say no. Because I don't think that I can fill those shoes. Do you know what I mean? Never mind the codpiece. But like I don't think that I could fill the, like, look at the fucking remake of The Crow. It'd just be atrocious. Unless it was someone like Eggers as the director who would make it really dark and creepy, then maybe. But still, I wouldn't want to. I don't think I'd want to fuck about with that cult classic, you know? We could be any 80s glam Bowie situation. No, it couldn't, because it's slightly different, Authentica. The way that it sits is slightly different. I know where you're coming from, but it's slightly different. Right, friends. We are coming up to 4 bloody hours. And I need to go get a cup of tea because my voice is fucking up and I've definitely still got that frog in my throat. However, let me snooze those so we're not getting fucking adverts in the middle of the raid. However, as I just said, we're gonna go raid somebody, and I would very, very, very much appreciate Del Toro remakes Labyrinth. The problem is, Authentic Car, is I have definitely got, I find Del Toro very, very hit or miss, and unfortunately it's more miss these days. So I wouldn't trust Del Toro to do a good version of the Labyrinth. I genuinely wouldn't trust Del Toro to do a good version of Labyrinth. It's which is heartbreaking because I think he has the potential to, but I just he doesn't have the. There's too many times that he's fallen short for me, you know. Kayla, come here, Cheeky Devil. Right, friends, we're gonna go raid somebody. Before we go raid somebody, though, please could we all follow Claudathus, excuse me, example, and throw some mod loves in the channel. Say a massive thank you to those wonderful moderators. You can use any kind of mod loves from any kind of channel. You can use any kind of love hearts from any kind of channel. Say a massive thank you to those wonderful moderators. Mods, thank you so much for all that you do. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for all you do in and out of stream. All the stuff you do for me behind the scenes and all the stuff you do for this wonderful community. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, you beautiful, beautiful beings. Friends, we are going to go raid somebody. If you can stick around for the raid, I would really, really appreciate it, just to go throw some love at another wonderful human being. Even if it's only like 5-10 minutes. Even though it's only like 5-10 minutes, because it helps me out as a streamer, because it helps us go into a new place and be like, hey, this person's got a community that's wonderful and joyous. It helps the streamer out that we're going to go raid, because they get to see all of you beautiful individuals and acknowledge all of your wonders and gloriousness. And also, on top of that, it helps all of you out, because you get to be introduced to a brand new streamer who you might be like, oh my fucking god, this is the greatest person ever. And I hope you don't, because I would like to think that you're going to come back and say hello to me and stick around. But you never know. You might find somebody that you gel with more than you gel with me. And it would be nice to go throw them some love. Let me have a quick look, see who we can go throw some love to. How long have you been streaming? You are going to be finishing very soon, so we will not raid you. We could raid you. Or I want to raid somebody else who's doing some chattery shenanigans. Some cheeky little natterings or some fun and games. Do you know what? Do you know what? Let's go and raid this beautiful being. Let's go raid this beautiful being. It's been a long time since we've raided this wonderful individual. In fucking ages. So it'll be nice to go throw them some love. They've been streaming for quite a while. So I don't know how much longer they're going to be on for. But they are wonderful. They are wonderful. And it's been a very, very long time since we raided them. So it'll be nice to go and throw them some love. All right. Friends, if you are a subscriber, please copy and paste the first raid message. If you're not a subscriber, please copy and paste the second raid message. That's the first bot of vein raid message for subscribers. The second bot of vein raid message for non-subscribers. If you would like to use your own emotes, you are welcome to do so. If you want to just use the "You're so vain, I bet you think this raid is about you," and use your own emotes, like I said, we celebrate all emotes here, so you're welcome to do so. Absolutely. Absolutely. Get unready. I'm gonna go and wash my face is what I'm gonna go do. I've got a brand new foundation on, which I haven't used before, but people were telling me that L'Oreal tests on animals, so I'm trying to change my foundation up. Anyway, friends, we're gonna go raid Bear Boo. We're going to go raid Bear Boo. It's been a real long time since we've raided Bear Boo, but Bear is a wonderfully fun individual who I very, very much appreciate. Always run into them at conventions and stuff like that, and we always have a good laugh. They're super wholesome, super supportive, super fun, just a great human being to hang around, so it'd be nice to go and throw them some love today. They do play a large variety of different games, but at the moment they have jumped onto the Pal World dynamic. If you are not in the raid up at the top, fuck me, there are loads of you in here. If you're not in the raid up here at the top, please click on the link that I've just thrown out here. We don't do shout outs anymore because it gives them a heads up that we are coming over, and I like to keep it a surprise. I like to keep it a surprise. That's the kind of person that I am. But friends, thank you so much for being here. Thanks so much for raids, the subs, the gift subs, all the cheeky little bitties. Thank you so much for the follows. Thanks so much for the donations. Thanks so much for all you beautiful people that have been lurking, or should I say watchers from the void. And thanks so much to you people for watching the VODs. If you're on the VODs and Vanity channel, I would appreciate that. Imagine giving you a heads up when you raid. I know, right? It's the worst. It's the worst. Who would even do that, right? Anyway, friends, I'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. BST, where I will give you 5 games to choose from, 5 puzzly games to choose from, and you get to vote for it if you are here in chat. Until then, don't do anything I wouldn't do. If I wouldn't do it, it'll fucking kill you. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.